So very good evening to you. Welcome to the Olympic Park here in London. London 2012 Paralympics. I'm Jeremy Nicholas. Alongside me is Katrina Webb.
Hello, good evening, Jeremy, and good evening to you out there watching us tonight.
Katrina's 4 times gold medalist for Australia in the Paralympics. And we're straight into the action. They're off to they're very much running to time. This is at 7 o'clock, and it literally is 7 o'clock, and they're off. And this is the men's 400 metres, the T12. So we'll pick it up as we go. But we've got a couple of Spaniards, a Tunisian, a South African and a Mexican. And it's the South African, Hilton Lingenwiffen, in lane 5. You can see there in the yellow and green, who's going very well. Inside him, Caldi of Tunisia going very well. He's already passed the Mexican, that's Gonzalez. And the 2 Spanish runners on the inside can't make any headway at all at the moment. But Hilton Lingenwiffen in the lead. And Caldi Mahmoud of Tunisia is the only one who's going to catch him. Hilton Lingenwiffen for South Africa, but he's getting some grief now from the Tunisian who's coming back at him. It's a good race to finish here. Mahmoud of Tunisia coming past. Caldi Mahmoud's going to get the gold. It's gold for Caldi Mahmoud. Hilton Lingenwiffen gets silver, and it looked like the Mexican, Gonzalez Sorcida, got the bronze. Fantastic
race there. A new world record for the Tunisian. What a finish for him, that last 100 metres. Strong, running through the line, and great result. A time of 48.52, with the previous world record being 48.62.
And Lingenwiffen got a PB of 49.04, so he did his best there. He couldn't have done much more than a PB. He looked like he'd got the race won, didn't he? And the Tunisian just had kept something in reserve.
That last 100 metres is the most important, and it is whatever you have left. Also, the person, Sasuza for Mexico, who came third, also ran a PB of 50.41. So what you want to see in a final, the T12 men's 400 metres, world record, PB and PB.
And the Mexican's got a Mexican hat for his lap. The Tunisian's got a flag. At this point, it looked like the South African had it, and then just as they came round the bend, still you would fancy the South African, but then the Tunisian had kept something in reserve, and Caldi Mahmoud came by to take the gold medal.
And that's always a tough moment when you're really exhausted in that last 100 metres, when someone runs past you, and you saw the South African just tense up a little bit in his shoulders. You want to hang on, but your body's telling you that you're exhausted. Then to see someone run past is a very tough moment in sport. However, if you're going to come second, broken by a world record, and you ran a PB, he's got to be happy with that.
Were you a good finisher, or were you someone that got caught at the finish?
Experienced both, actually, and
okay.
I think in sport, when you're involved for that long, part of your journey is it's good to experience both. So then the next time, if you do get past, you know actually how to handle that feeling.
So we were straight into the race as our coverage started tonight. They're slap bang on time here at the London Games. And there is the result. A new world record for Mahmoud Caldi of Tunisia. Hilton Lingenwiffen of South Africa, 49.04. Mexican with lots of names. Jorge Benjamin Gonzalez Sorcida, we'll give them all of them, 50.41. And then the Spaniard with the guide runner, 50.68. So the T12 category, T meaning track, 1 meaning visual impairment, and 2 meaning not as severe as the T11 category, less severe than the T13.
Great work, Jeremy.
Thanks. I'm almost understanding the classifications.
We might be able to train you up as one soon.
Yeah. It's not so much that I'm understanding it, I'm just finding where to get the information better now.
Well done.
Yeah. I've been hunting for ages a single page that would have all the classifications on, and it doesn't exist in the International Broadcast Centre, but then I went in the press area, the MPC, Main Press Centre,
yes.
And those newspaper guys, they've got it all sorted out. And I found, I think, it's exactly what you've got there.
Well, you should have asked me a bit earlier because
you're a Paralympic ambassador and you know what you're doing. But I'm a journalist by nature, really, and I like to find my own facts.
Yes, no, this has come through some people putting some information together for us. So I do like your comment. It's difficult to get a simple page on classification. We've now gone to seated shot put for the women, and class F32, 33 and 34.
Let me see if I can get that. F is field, and 3 means cerebral palsy, and 2 is the most severe, 32, and 34 is the least severe.
That's right. So it's a combination class, and they compete off of a points-based system. So the person that throws the furthest may not win the competition. The points are valued at, we can see here the Russian, her first attempt 7.06 metres with a points of 784. Just to give you a bit of a guide, around 1,000 is a world record mark. And so as we progress, you'll see a calculation system that is in place to give that points base.
And you can see they have a set amount of time before they have to throw, and 43 seconds before she has to throw now. And she's not going to wait that long. It's around about 6.5 metres by the look of it.
And again, the rules for people that might not know with seated shot put is you can see her front foot is actually strapped into the ground, but the rules are that you have to keep one foot on the ground at all times, and you're not allowed to release your bottom off the seat until the forward motion of the throw. So just like standing shot put, you can see the motion starts right down low in her body, and then for the final burst to get the shot put out comes from the top end.
And just looking ahead to what's happening in the stadium tonight, I guess the big showdown that we're all waiting for is the men's 100 metres, the T44 final, where we've got Oscar Pistorius. I've got Johnny Peacock of Great Britain, who's actually the favourite. We've got Arnaud Ferry, we've got Jerome Singleton. We've got some great runners in that. Who's going to win that?
Oh, it's a good question, isn't it?
We don't know, do we?
Well, I'm going to predict Peacock, but I think it'll be interesting to see. It is a time of, what have we got on the program here? About 9:24, obviously London time. And the race before is going to be a big one, the men's 800 metres T54 class. And will David Weir get his third gold medal of the Games?
He's got a nickname now, the Werewolf.
Yeah.
The Werewolf
The
of
Werewolf.
London is what they call him. So
And by the look of the crowds, it is early in the program, but it looks pretty full already, and I can guarantee you there probably wasn't any spare tickets for sale for what we're going to see later on in the program.
No, absolutely. I think this is one of the most eagerly anticipated nights. The 100 metres, it is the blue ribbon event of athletics. Fantastic glasses she's got on there. All I would say, love, is that's actually the Olympic Games and we're at the Paralympics.
That's right. The Agitos would probably be a bit hard to wear. You'd have the 3 little shapes across your eyes.
What are they called? The shapes on the... You can just see the Olympic...
the symbol. It's called the Agitos.
The Agitos.
It means to move.
Okay.
In Greek.
See, I've been looking at that symbol. You can see it always in the bottom right-hand corner of the captions that are coming up, and it's sort of 3 arcs. I was wondering what it symbolises and...
To move or I move. I think the actual translation is I move.
Okay.
It's the International Paralympic Committee has just recently launched their Agitos Foundation that's going to raise money to help get young children involved in the developing worlds into Paralympic sport.
What is that word you're saying? Agitos?
Agitos.
Agitos. Oh, Agitos?
Yes.
Okay. I like them anyway. It's a nice symbol. But you couldn't really get them made into a pair of glasses, so we will forgive that girl for wearing Olympic glasses at a Paralympic event. All people welcome at the Paralympics. So it's the men's 200 metres, the T36.
Lane 1, we have Holman from...
Nicaragua.
Thank you. So are we from Hong Kong. Great to see quite a few Hong Kong athletes at these games.
There's not many countries I have to turn around and look at my wall chart
Yeah,
to see what it is. Nicaragua was one there. But in the swimming, there's a guy who's from a country and his initials are COM, and literally nobody knew where that was. And I'll tell you what, I'll tell you in a minute. Have a think back at home. COM.
Pavlik from the Ukraine. And listen to that crowd. Ben Rushgrove of Great Britain. PB of 25.25, which is his season's best, so let's hope he gets a good run. As his next 2, Graham Ballard, who we've seen be successful in these games, lane 6 from Great Britain, with a PB of 25.12.
Graham's one of my favourite competitors because he just doesn't look like an athlete. He looks like he could be your bank manager. You just want to give him a big hug and say, oh, it's like a race of athletes and then there's a bank manager in it, but he's also really good, isn't he?
He's an incredible athlete.
Okay.
Jin Yan from China.
And outside of him is the Pole Milcharek. Right, COM is Comoros.
Comoros.
Which, even when you've heard it, you think, I still don't know where that is. It's an island in the, I think it's in the Indian Ocean. But they've got a swimmer who did very well, and then he got disqualified. But, yeah.
So look out for lane 2. So Huawei from Hong Kong. He is actually the world record holder of 24.65, which he got in Beijing in 2008.
So I'm going to feel a bit silly saying So Huawei all the time
Huawei.
here. So Huawei. So Huawei of China, or Hong Kong, China, in lane 2.
Stand up, gentlemen, please. Stand up.
Something's gone wrong. They're going to have to stand them up.
And line up again immediately. Lane 2, line up immediately, please.
Something's wrong with person in lane 2. You can see him speaking to the officials there.
Hard.
Yeah, it is So Huawei, the Hong Kong athlete, who gets a green card. So I think that's because they have to all go down at the same time, and he didn't go down in time. But green card's okay.
No, actually, they just seemed to be unsteady before they even got into the set position.
Remember that film Green Card with Andy McDowell when she's trying to get a work permit to live in America and just has to pretend that she's married to Gerard Depardieu?
I do, actually.
That was a good film, that was. This is a completely different form of green card, though.
Again, so the boys will have to compose themselves, get them ready, focused again. Because it's difficult when you've really set yourself, okay, I'm going to get in the blocks, this is the start of my final, and then someone's unsteady and you have to get back to this position again. So they'll go through the same rituals. You might see them exactly like our Polish athlete. This little ritual before he starts, into the blocks.
So it's the men's 200 metres, T36. So Huawei of Hong Kong in 2 to look out for. The 2 Brits, Ben Rushgrove and Graham Ballard, in 5 and 6. And the Russian's got a fast time as well, Andrei Zernov.
The stadium's extremely quiet.
Set.
And they're off the men's 200 metres.
Graham Ballard was out very fast out of his blocks, taking the bend extremely fast. But the stagger's getting picked up here as they come around into the home straight. Let's see. The 2 great British athletes are not in bad positions, but
on the inside, it's Pavlik of the Ukraine. Pavlik of the Ukraine in the lead. Here comes So Huawei and Ben Rushgrove going well. Who's going to get it here?
Close.
It's just at the line. I think it's Roman Pavlik of the Ukraine. Then it was So Huawei and then Ben Rushgrove. That was a great race.
That was a wonderful finish.
We were level for such a long way. The 2 British guys were going well. The Hong Kong competitor was doing well, but that's the man that's won it from the Ukraine.
And he's happy. 24/7. He's exhausted. He's going to savour the moment.
Roman Pavlik, the conquering Roman.
So just to let you know, 24/7, the world record is 24.65. So a great run there tonight in the London Olympic Stadium.
And the home fans would have loved to have seen Ben Rushgrove or Graham Ballard, but you can see Graham Ballard absolutely flew out. He almost looked like he got a false start. He was away so quickly,
yes.
But then the rest of them caught him. Ben Rushgrove just tying up a little bit there, and the Ukrainian and the Hong Kong athlete must have been very close. I'd like to see a photo of that, but definitely the Ukraine have got it. And Ben Rushgrove must have been very close to getting his silver on the line.
He did, and you can just see he does with his CP. Moves from side to side and probably does just waste a little bit of energy coming home as he gets tired. He's losing energy sort of horizontally as he's going across there, where his other runners in front. The Ukrainian is very balanced and finishing the line, but great run.
And when you say with his CP, that means with cerebral...
With cerebral palsy, sorry.
With
yes.
cerebral palsy.
Yes.
That is a characteristic of cerebral palsy runners, that they can tire towards the end.
Of course.
Yeah.
Just like any other runner, whether you have a disability or not, everyone gets tired at the end, and these guys are highly trained athletes. But of course, if you're giving your absolute maximum, you will get tired, and if you don't, then you know you haven't really given your full effort.
So Roman Pavlik, 24.70, that's a regional record for him. So Huawei of Hong Kong with a PB of 24.77, and Ben Rushgrove also got a PB, that stands for personal best. Try and remember to explain all of the acronyms so that no one gets left out. Graham Ballard, 25.20, and then PBs, personal bests for the Chinese athlete, the Polish athlete, and then in the American, who came 8th, and the Nicaraguan, who came 9th, set a season's best. So
very good race. Just to see that the wind reading on the screen said 0-0, so very still evening. You might have seen the shot before of the flags, really not moving at all, and this is absolutely perfect conditions for the runners. I must though the more perfect conditions is having a tail of anything under 2 metres. So if you see a plus, which means that you've got a nice tailwind behind you, and a lot of world records are run when you get a nice tailwind of, say, 1.9. Now we're going to the seated javelin. For the women, T57, T58 class.
And what will happen across the night is we'll see the track events live, and then the field events, which all begin with an F instead of a T. That's how you can see the classifications different, but otherwise the numbers are very much the same. And that is the leader at the moment from Vietnam, Thi Hai Nguyen. And she's in the lead at the moment with 24 metres. And because it's a 57 and 58 category, there'll be a point system, as Katrina was explaining, and she's in the lead at the moment.
A throw of 24 metres for her, which is reasonably good. Her PB is actually 24.30, which happens to be her season's best. So she's very close to her best performance. So let's hope it'll get her enough. The top 8 will have to get into the final, and then they'll get another 3 throws.
But only 2 competitors have thrown so far. She's one, and Sylvia Grant of Jamaica has thrown as well. Now, the finals come quick and fast tonight. We've got the women's 200 metres, the T12 coming up now. And I haven't got that. Have you not got that either?
Women's... Oh, we've got that. Yes. Let's
we'll
just bring up our schedule.
We'll have to get this one on the screen, Katrina, because
I can see Oksana by the look of it.
When I went over there to the press centre to nick all the schedules, and they've all stapled them together, but they haven't got the women's 200 metres T12 final. Fortunately, I can get it up on the screen.
And just to let people know, the start lists don't come out until 24 hours before an event. So it's for us, we have to race around and make sure we get the start list of all the events so we know who's made it.
And I know lots of the athletes here obviously are very fit, but I've lost about half a stone in a week, just traipsing between the International Broadcast Centre, the main press centre,
yes,
the stadium, just getting all of these details.
Women's shot put F32, 33 and 34. And we're seeing the Finnish athlete Hovinen throwing up to her 3rd attempt of 764 metres, getting 866 points.
So there's the 2 women's field events going on at the moment, the women's shot put and the women's javelin. And we'll keep you up to date with that. They tend just to show us the leaders and the first 1, 2, 3 in each category. But we'll be back out on the track very shortly.
And I must say, the weather has been fantastic the last few days in London, and again, it's going to be a beautiful night for what we're going to see, some great competition in the Olympic Stadium. Yeah,
I did wonder if perhaps the half a stone I'd lost was just dehydration. Tonight I've got some triple berry water, which is I need a few berries to keep me going.
Now, looking forward to watching this race. We've seen El Hanouni quite a few times already. I think this is her 3rd event at the Games. She has already won gold over the 400 metres. And now we're seeing the girls lining up for the 200 metres. Oksana in lane 7 from the Ukraine is one of my favourites to watch. Has a wonderful technique. So.
And again, it's a T12 category, which is for visually impaired runners. You'll notice that the first 3 will have guides, but Oksana Botachuk won't have a guide. There's a Zhu of China.
She's been fantastic this competition as well.
Always looks very serious right up until her name is run out, and then she waves to the crowd. This is Zhu Daking.
So you can see the rules are they're allowed to have 2 lanes each, even if you're not using a guide runner.
So
El Hanouni
qualified with a world record time, but 24.8. But Zhu Daking also has that time, and Oksana Botachuk 25.20, and she's in the outside lane without the guide, and she has the slowest season's best. So this could be a very good contest, I would think, between Zhu Daking and El Hanouni, and Zhu Gua on the inside, also a contender.
You see the guide runners tend to go on the outside to give their athletes the least amount of distance to run. But again, that's a choice for what works best for them.
And you'll also be able to spot the difference. The athletes always wear the number, the guide wears the bib. And on this occasion, it's easy to spot as well because the guides are men and it's a women's event. So I don't think there'll be any confusion.
As long as the athlete crosses the line first, that's what we'll be looking for at the end of the 200 metres.
Absolutely no wind again, 0.0. 200 metres, T12 final. The crowd quiet. And they're away. And it's a good start from El Hanouni. And Zhu Daking going as well. Zhu Daking going very well on the inside. So's El Hanouni. Botichuk doing well in the outside lane. But the Chinese competitors coming through now. This is a great race. Anybody could win this. On the inside, it's Zhu Gua, Zhu Daking. And here comes El Hanouni now. El Hanouni's going to get this. She's coming very well at the line. It's the French girl who's going to win it. El Hanouni gets it. Zhu Gua on the inside, I think, got silver, and I couldn't tell who got the bronze, but it was Assia El Hanouni of France, 31 years of age, and that's a great result.
A fantastic result for El Hanouni. She timed that race perfectly. Another world record, Jeremy, 24:46. Absolutely beautiful finish.
And you can tell when it's a world record because when they come across the line, then there's a secondary cheer, and it's because the crowd are seeing that it's a world record before we get to see that it is. And there she is with her guide, Simone, climbs up, gets the tricolour, gets a big hug from coach, family.
What an amazing moment for her, and what great shape. You know, you can have a go at the world record in the heat, but then to do it again in the final is incredible. Well done, El Hanouni. And that's what it's all about. It's your team that really helps you to get across that line. As they come around the bend, momentum off the bend, and look at El Hanouni, she's just winding it up, really getting into the race now, passing Oksana, who's starting to tide, but the Chinese was giving her a good run for the money on the inside, and El Hanouni, too experienced and in great shape at these games. I wonder whether it will be her last. She has been around.
31 she is. What sort of age do people... You stopped at 31, didn't you?
Yeah, I did.
Or 35
30.
now?
I'm 35 now, yes.
Yeah.
And I think this is her third games. Could even be 4, but I know she's had wonderful success in all games and has dominated this field for the last 2, if not 3 Paralympics.
Let's see if we can find out what people are saying on Twitter. Paralympic.org is where you can hear the commentaries and see the live streams. But there is a Twitter account as well, which is at Paralympic. Zolani Mandidi says, I'm enjoying the Paralympic way more than the Olympics. Way more variety, way more heart. Janine Branford, another late night sitting up to watch Oscar Pistorius. Nishan says, I reckon the Brazilian's going to run Oscar down. James McIndoe, question for you. Why in the 200 metres T12 does every athlete have a guide except for one person?
It depends on their site and whether they choose to have one or not. Obviously, it would be harder work to have one, but if you've just got enough site, because there's a level of when they're being classified, there's a minimum level and maximum level within a category. Can I just let you know, El Hanouni, she won gold in Athens for the 100, 200, 400 and 800. In Beijing, she won gold for the 200 and the 400 and silver for the 800 and the 1500. What an incredible athlete we're looking at. She's picked up the gold in the 200 and also the 400 at this Games.
She's done fantastically well. On Twitter, at Paralympic, Olwyn Myberg says, can listen to Jeremy Nicholas and Katrina Webb commentary all night. Go Oscar and Anu. Proudly South African.
While we're watching El Hanouni, just a little bit about her sight. She's almost blind with less than 1/10 vision in her left eye and 0 in her right eye. She also runs against athletes without disabilities in 800-metre sprint events. Well done.
So she could be a Paralympic ambassador of the future, I think.
She could be.
Because she's been there, done that, got the T-shirt.
But I think the thing when you watch that is the stuff that you don't see at the Games is what happens to get to training and all the hard work behind the scenes. And when you're a T11 or 12 or 13, no one obviously can drive, so even just getting to training is hard work, whether you've got to use public transport or having your team around you. And it was nice to see El Hanini hugging her team, her supporters, that really helped pull it together for her for these games and for the previous. Men's 800 metre T36 final tonight is getting ready on the track. And
Shvetkov of Russia, very much the man to watch, I would think, here. He's someone we've seen over previous nights. We've got a Briton as well in lane 5 who's decent, Paul Blake, and Arafiev of Russia. This is another Nicaraguan, Gabriel Jesus Cuadra Holman. Colombian, Fabio Gutierrez Torres, 25 years of age. And here's the Russian, Evgeny Shvetkov.
Yes, Shvetkov.
So he's got the fastest time this season, 2:05.05. He's going to be the one to watch, isn't he?
And for people that don't watch a lot of track and field, always tend to look in finals at lane 4, 5 and 6 because they'll be your fastest qualifiers. I can't hear myself. Paul Blake, it must be a great Brit athlete on the track, and it is. There's Shvetkov.
And there's Arafiev, the other Russian. So he's got a Russian either side of him, Shvetkov in 4, Ariev in 6, and Blake of Great Britain in 5. And as you were saying there, the reason 4, 5 and 6 are the ones to look for is because they do it in qualification time, so the slower ones are on the outside.
Yes.
But then sometimes you get people who are sneaky and deliberately don't go fast in qualifying, and then you see someone come from lane 7.
And it's more disadvantage running from lane 8 because it's hard to see where you're positioned based on the staggers. And again, same one. And lane 1 are tighter bends, so you want to be sitting in 4, 5 and 6 just to get a really good race.
T36, these are runners with cerebral palsy. And it's 800 metres, and the winning time will be around about the 2 minutes 5, something like that would be the world record. 2 minutes 5:05. So
2 metres would be good, Jeremy.
2 metres would be very good, wouldn't it? Yeah. I get muddled between my time and my distance.
Yeah. Well, we do go from one event on the field to the track very quickly, so we apologise if we make any mistakes as we progress throughout the evening.
Absolutely. So it's the Colombian Torres who's taken the lead there. Fabio Gutierrez Torres, and then the Russian just tracking him there.
Shvetkov behind, sitting comfortably. Then
Blake, and then Ariev. So the Colombian in the lead. Now, just looking at his time, his season's best is 2:29.89, which is around about 24 seconds slower than the Russian and the two Brits. So he's got no right, really, to be there. I would expect them to come past him. But
and as you're saying that, they probably will.
But he's looking so determined. It's almost as though he wants to be on the camera. He knows he's not going to win, so he thinks, I'll lead the first lap. I don't care if they come past me. I'll be able to tell my family I led in a Paralympic final. But as expected, it's the two Russians and the Brit who come through, and the Colombian's been left behind. Now the crowd roaring here because on the inside, he's overtaking on the inside. You're not allowed to do that in a car, but he's done it on the track. He's overtaken on the inside. Blake from Great Britain going into the lead, and then behind him he's got Shvetkov, and behind him Arafiev. So it's Blake from Shvetkov from Arafiev. Who's looking the strongest, would you say, Katrina?
Well, Blake's doing a good run. I like his style, but Shvetkov doesn't like being behind, and he's going to tell the guys, if you're going to keep up with me now.
Just as I say, who's going to do that? Shvetkov just puts his head down and goes. And this Russian has really set these Paralympic Games alight. Evgeny Shvetkov,
yes.
And he's being pursued by Arafiev. Shvetkov's going to get it. Arafiev coming really slowly. Blake is out of it now. It's between the two Russians, and Evgeny Shvetkov gets gold in the Paralympic 800 metres T36 final. His compatriot Artem Arafiev gets the silver, and a big cheer for Paul Blake, who gets the bronze. And the rest of the field coming in now, and interested to see where that Colombian is, who led for such a long way.
Yes.
He's gonna come last, isn't he? I haven't seen him come past yet. That's still not him, waiting for the yellow jersey.
And his PB was 2:29.89. I wonder if the camera will let us see him cross the line.
It's a shame. It's a shame when we don't see everyone cross.
Yes.
I'd like to see everyone cross the line, really.
Paralympic record there, 2 minutes and 5 and 32 seconds. In fact, he has the world record of 2:05.05. And he's a strong athlete. I really like the way, as he comes into that home straight, he just turns his head to the side, Yes, I've got it. I'll just have one more look. Yes, I've got it. And have a look here. You come out of the bend. You can see he'll just turn his head to the right soon and just see if anyone's coming. Maybe he was even looking at the screen because you can at that point. Yeah. There's the look.
He looked at the screen at the other end of the stadium to see how close
much,
they were. Yeah.
Yes.
That's good, intelligent use of the technical facilities.
It's nice when you do come around that bend and you're not sure exactly where you are in relation to your stagger, and then you can see that shot if you can do that staying within your process and your focus, and realise that you've got a few metres lead and just hold on with whatever you got, and that's his second gold medal for the meet. He's
done very well. 24-year-old Russian Evgeny Shvedkov, T36 category, and Paralympic records 2:05:32
for the men's 400 metres T12.
So throughout the night we will have victory ceremonies. This is the men's 400 metres T12, and after this we'll have the men's 200 metres T36, and then we've got the final coming up, the women's 200 metres, the T34s.
London 2012 Athletes Committee. And he's accompanied by the Right Honourable Margaret Hodge, MBE, Member of Parliament for Barking.
She's the Barking
Ladies
MP.
And gentlemen, the
Always makes me laugh.
Representing Mexico, Jorge Gonzalez Socheda.
As Gonzalez comes up to get his medal. Barking is an area of East London. So, but barking also in London slang means a little bit mad. So you could say the Barking MP. And there's another area of London called Tooting. And my favourite ever... Tooting, which is in South London.
You have a Tooting MP, do you?
The Tooting MP, yeah. My favourite headline in the London paper was Barking man marries Tooting woman. Very noisy wedding. Making ourselves laugh here at the Olympic Park.
He's very happy, as you would imagine you'd be, being presented a bronze medal at the London 2012 Paralympic Games.
Silver medalist, representing South Africa, Hilton Langenhoven.
Langenhoven, they haven't got onto your pronunciation. I know we've got the South Africans listening in.
Yeah.
And are we right by saying...
Now, can I just apologise to everyone for South Africa for the stadium announcer saying Langenhoven, and I said Langenhoven the other day, and when I got home, my wife squared me up and said it's... I can't quite remember how she said I should. I think it's Lingenwiffen.
Lingenwiffen,
I think.
Give us some feedback if you want to, and phonetically write how you would say.
So, I apologise if I'm getting that wrong, but at least I'm getting it wrong in a different way to how I got it wrong the other day. But I know it's not Langenhoven like he just said.
Gold medalist and Paralympic champion representing Tunisia, Mahmoud Khaldi.
Mahmoud
well done to Khaldi.
He came through well, didn't he?
Fantastic finish. This was quick to the dais. They only finished their race a little over half an hour ago and straight into their victory ceremony. For some athletes, they go home, back to the village and come back at night, but these guys wouldn't even have time to cool down.
And last night we had the victory ceremony for the first ever Namibian to win a gold medal at Paralympics or Olympics, Joanna Benson, and unfortunately our international stream, we had to say goodbye to our international viewers, so anyone that wants to see that, go to the YouTube channel. Any viewers in Namibia that want to see Joanna Benson's ceremony, it's at youtube.com and go to Paralympic Sport TV. Here's the Tunisian anthem.
It's one of your favourites, Jeremy. You like to see a bit of emotion in the medal ceremony, don't you?
So I'd love to see some emotion. And just talking about the Namibian medal ceremony for Joanna Benson, Great result for her first gold, and she got it from Frankie Fredericks last night, presented it to her, probably the greatest runner ever. And just tell us about Frankie. You were working with him yesterday, weren't you?
Yes, I did a press conference with Frankie yesterday. The World Academy of Sport and the International Baccalaureate have launched a pilot program to help young athletes be able to do their IB, the International Baccalaureate, over a flexible period. So instead of doing, say, in year 11 and 12 over 2 years, they're going to do a pilot that will enable athletes to train but also get their education and have that flexibility to not have to, study full-time and train full-time. And Frankie was there for that. He was the previous chair of the IOC Athletes Commission, and it was fantastic to spend lunchtime with him and to be launching this program.
Because you do have to be flexible to be an athlete, don't you? That is one of the things.
You do, and education... Oh, on a serious note, education is just as important as your sport, because when all of these athletes finish, they've got to have something to go on to. And Frankie's a great example of that. He did his Bachelor of Science and then went on to do an MBA once he finished his athletic career. Back to the seated shot put.
That one's just short of 6 metres. So leading the way at the moment is Louise Ellery of Australia. 35 years of age, F32 competitor.
And you can see Louise in the background there. She's even going through the motions as her competitor is.
I'm not sure who that is throwing at the moment. I haven't got a caption that tells me, and I can't see any kind of number. I don't recognise the kit.
The Greece.
Oh, it's the Greek competitor in blue and white, yes. It's Maria
Stamatula.
Maria Stamatula.
40-year-old from Greece in the class F32, and again this is a combined class.
And she's in 3rd place at the moment.
Ladies and gentlemen, the victory ceremony for the men's 200 metres T36.
Louise Ellery in the lead actually at the moment in the throwing for Australia in the shot put. So another medal ceremony.
The medals will be presented by Mr. Wilfred Lemke, United Nations Special Advisor on Sport for Development and Peace, who is accompanied by Mr. David Sproul, Senior Partner and Chief Executive, Deloitte. Ladies and gentlemen, the bronze medalist, representing Great Britain, Ben Rushgrove.
Great moment for Ben.
What do you think of the Great Britain tracksuits? I like them.
I do too.
It's a new take on the Union Jack flag because they've taken the red out and just put it on the shoulders and the cuffs.
Yeah.
Designed by Stella McCartney.
I didn't know that.
Who's the daughter of Paul McCartney from the Beatles.
Fantastic fashion designer.
Yeah, she's designed all the kit for all the Team GB athletes and the Paralympics GB athletes. Can't believe I know something about fashion that you don't.
Yeah.
Doesn't seem right, does it?
I know Stella, but I didn't know that, so thank you for that
don't
information.
Know Stella.
I know her brand. I've got some of her clothing.
You haven't been.
I think she's great.
You haven't been to dinner with Stella, have you?
No, I haven't.
No. Paul?
No.
For those just joining us on the Paralympics cover, it's a running joke this week that everyone who presents the medals Katrina's met or been to a function with or had a dinner with or spoken at an event with. And you're just pointing to that. Have you that man?
Well, I think he's the UN Special Advisor for Peace and Sport, and if I look at my schedule for a couple of days' time, I could be taking him on a tour of the village. So part of my job is, as International Paralympic Committee Paralympic Ambassador, is to look after some of the VIPs that do come in and make sure they do get a wonderful Paralympic experience.
What's the village like?
Wonderful.
Is it?
Yeah, it is wonderful. Always is. Roman Pavlik of the Ukraine, who have a extremely successful Paralympic program, and if you've only just joined us and listened to us tonight, he would have also got a one-bedroom apartment as that gold medal went around his neck.
It's all Ukrainian medalists, or is it just gold medalists that
gold medalists
get the one-bedroom apartment? It's not the same apartment, is it? Otherwise they'll all be rattling around in there.
Well, there will be a few of them rattling around with their gold medals. Well done to Roman.
Stand for the national anthem of Ukraine.
Not a bad night's work, a gold medal, a bunch of flowers, and the keys to a one-bedroom apartment in the Ukraine.
In front of, I think the stadium's looking pretty full by that shot. Seats about 80,000 people, and I think everyone's probably had enough time to get to their seats.
Now, you're talking about how well the Ukraine have done, and they are putting a lot into the Paralympics. They are 5th in the medal table, the Ukraine. I'll just run through. It's China are number 1, then the Russians, Great Britain 3, Australia 4, and then it's the Ukraine ahead of massive countries like America 6th, Germany 7th, Brazil 8th, Poland 9th, France 10th. So they punch above their weights at the Paralympics.
They do, yes, and that's been very strategic. This is Louise Ellery of Australia here for the seated shot put. I do know Louise. She actually had a very severe car accident back in 1998, which left her in a vegetative state after being in coma for 5 months, defying all odds after not being able to, enough to complete her rehabilitation. She started athletics for some fresh air and a new challenge, and we see her out here tonight, and she will be a force to reckon with. She's just thrown a Paralympic record, 5 metres 90 with a points of 895. So well done to Louise Ellery.
She's going very well there. It's good. I like to hear the inside stories on these people, you know, and how they're going. And it's good that you know these people as well. Hannah Cockcroft, the world record holder in this event, will go in lane 6. She's 20. She's from Great Britain, so she'll get a big cheer when she's introduced to the crowd. Her PB is 31.23, which is also her season's best.
And Hannah won the first gold medal on the track for the Great Britain team.
Absolutely.
In the 100 metres it was on the first night of the program. I can't believe we're getting closer to the end.
Of the Paralympics,
yes. Yeah. Kylie DeWald from USA, qualifying time of 40.36.
Season's best, much faster though, 38.27. There's Melissa Nichols.
35-year-old classification, T34. Her season's best of 35.93.
She had written on the inside of her arm, happy birthday to somebody.
And there's Rosemary Little from Australia, qualifying time of 34.69. So the girls have just done what they've needed to do to get into the final, and I reckon we will be seeing a lot of PBs in this race. Amy Siemens from the Netherlands in lane 5.
So the qualifying times we won't take too much notice of. We're more interested really in those
there she is,
Hannah
Cockcroft. She's got the braid and she's got the blue and red braid and white. Look at that. Preparation this afternoon to get ready for her race. Obviously started early, but a good distraction because they're very nervous in the lead up to knowing you have a final at 7:45 p.m. on a Thursday night, the 6th of September. Rachel Burrows, the Canadian, in the race in lane 8.
Lots of hair colouring going on tonight.
There is. Yusra Benjima from Tunisia in lane 9. And just so that you know, as the girls go around the bend in these races, they would have spent a lot of time at the warm-up track setting their turn of their wheelchairs to make sure that as they come around they can click the little handle and make sure they get around the bend as efficiently as they can.
So Cockcroft of Great Britain, the one to watch, just inside her. Siemens of the Netherlands. Women's 200 metres, T34 final. Now, who is away the quickest?
I think Cockcroft is looking fantastic. Look at the pace, the frequency of her arms. She's already put herself into front position as we come around to the home straight of the 100 metres. Look where she's placed herself. She's already caught the stagger 4 or 5 metres ahead. Hannah Cockcroft, you can see why you won that 100 metres first gold medal. She is going to take the double, the sprint double, and a fabulous time of, is it going to be a world record? Oh,
yes, it is. No,
it's a Paralympic record.
Paralympic record. Oh, that was great.
Wow.
Great
Domination.
racing from Hannah Cockcroft. She just led from the front. No one got anywhere near her, really. And the home crowd loved that. It's a new Paralympic record. Siemens of the Netherlands just saying congratulations.
Wow.
Hannah Cockcroft is delighted. Lovely smile.
She makes you smile. I can't stop smiling sitting here, actually. I don't know if the viewers are the same, but you tend to feel the emotion that everybody's going through.
And there's Melissa Nichols, the other Brit in the race, just congratulating Hannah. Don't swear, Hannah.
Yes,
I don't know what she said, but I could see she was excited. Look how happy she is. You can't beat winning in a home games. Hannah Cockcroft.
Congratulating her competitors, the Tunisian competitor, waving to the crowd who are on their feet with the Union Jack flags.
She won the first medal at these Paralympic Games for Great Britain, and now she's won again. And I don't know if that's her family up there that they're picking out. But look at the determination as she comes round that bend. She started in the best lane just to see what's going on without having too steep a turn to get round. And she just drove for the line, but no one was anywhere near her. In lane 6, Hannah Cockcroft. Great result for Great Britain.
And that stadium will be electric.
Great atmosphere in the stadium tonight. We're building up to the Oscar Pistorius race coming later with Johnny Peacock of Great Britain.
And also the T54 men's 800 final, where we'll see David Weir, another great British.
David Weir, the Werewolf
of
London. That's the new nickname for him. He was surprised. Apparently it's trended on Twitter. He's called the Werewolf.
The
David
Werewolf.
Weir.
Well, I don't think he'll care what he's been called when he's going for his 3rd gold medal.
If he wins, I'm going to do that werewolf thing again.
All right.
Just a bit of a bonus for you.
And if you want Jeremy to do anything else, I can get my camera out and post the shot up there and you can see.
I won't be doing anything else. So confirmation there that Hannah Cockcroft was the winner. I'd rather let you down on telling you who won silver and bronze, because I was a bit excited about the Brit winning in front of the home crowd, but it was the 2 Dutch girls, Amy Siemens and Desiree Vranken, both 3 seconds or so behind. Rosemary Little of Australia in 4th, and then the Tunisian, the Canadian, the other Brit, Melissa Nichols, and Carly from the States bringing up the rear. And while the crowd applaud as the Brit goes on the lap of honour, we go back to the throwing competitions. We've got the women's shot put taking place, and we've got the women's javelin as well. This is the javelin. And leading at the moment has been Larissa Volik of Russia, 30 years of age. And she's ahead of Li Ming of China. And in 3rd place, the other Russian, Olga Sergienko. So this is the leader, Larissa Volik.
Just watching her routine she's going through here to get focused. Really using her mind to get everything in place to put that throw out. And it's over 20 metres. We'll just see. And the replay. Getting it high up into the air, coming down. We're looking at about 22 metres by a bit of a guess, but let's see. The last throw was 21.95. Oh, there we go. 21.95. 906 points. So close to 22. I was nearly there.
You were nearly there.
Nearly
You're
there.
Getting very good at estimating the distances.
There's Hannah Cockcroft.
Best smile of the night, I would say.
Yes.
Not the best hair of the night.
You don't think?
Well, it's great that it's red, white and blue, but it wouldn't suit me, I don't think.
And even the red, white, blue. You haven't got any hair to
I
do
know.
that with.
That's right. Thank you very much for telling everyone that.
Oh, you told us that the other night.
Did I? Yeah,
yes.
You're right. Yeah.
You wondered whether there was a classification for premature
Yes. Baldness.
baldness.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Oh, that's all right.
I did check it out for you.
There's not, is there?
No. The women's 200 metres T38 class.
You're a Paralympic ambassador. You could get that introduced.
Now this is an event that I ran in a couple of games. Track, 2 mean track, 3 mean cerebral palsy, and 8 means the mildest of cerebral palsy. And here's our lineup for the final.
So you were a T38 runner when you competed for Australia.
Yes.
And you won golds. Which distances did you win golds?
I won a gold in Atlanta in this distance, 100 and 200, and then I won gold again in Athens over 400 metres and some silver between. But I did compete a lot of my time against the Ukrainian in lane 7, who is one of the world records. I think she may still have the world record. She certainly does. She broke the world record in 2008, the Beijing Games, 27.81. There's Tarita Isaac, Australian runner. This is her first Games. Olivia Bren, who we know is the young 16-year-old Great Britain athlete. Tarita's 17. Olivia's 16, so we've got a young, youthful...
A couple of teenagers in the final. That's great, isn't it?
That's great to see. And for them, it means if they want to go for a few more games, they can at that age.
Now there's Goncharova of Russia. She won the other night.
She did.
So she'll be one of the ones to watch in this.
And of course, when we see the red and yellow, don't ever underestimate the Chinese. Qualifying time of 28.29. Chen from China, 20-year-old. And here is Ina, who is the current world record holder from the Ukraine. 27.81 is her world record. Her qualifying time there of 20... It's come off the screen, but her season's best is 28.91. Tunisian Sonia Mansour in lane 8. And Xiong Desi from China in lane 9. But I think if we keep our eyes on the Ukrainian, the Russian, lane 5 and lane 6. But red and yellow will be up there in the mix.
Absolutely. So it's 4, 5, 6 and 7 to watch out for. Slaby of Germany, Goncharova of Russia, Chen of China and Stryzak of the Ukraine. 200 metres, they can start from a kneeling or a standing position. Just waiting for the stadium. A crouching position, not a kneeling, of course. If you're kneeling, you wouldn't have much chance, would you? Perhaps saying a little prayer.
Well, we had a bit of unsteadiness there from Tarita Isaac in lane 2. Obviously, it's a really nervous time.
I think she heard me say kneeling and she was just chuckling to herself and they said, everyone better stand up.
You distracted her. She thought, well, maybe if I say a little prayer, I might get a bit more energy around this 200 metres. You can just see she came down into 3-point position and just, I think she was going to fall forward. So resetting, girls getting focused into their blocks. Once everybody's settled, the starter will say set, and then wait for everyone to be settled again to then fire the gun.
And they always say go on the B of bang. And this time they do go on the B of bang, and it's a great start for Chen of China. She's catching up already with their Stryzak from Ukraine. She's passed her on the inside. Chen of China absolutely flying on this occasion, and coming well now is Goncharova of Russia. It's the Chinese girl, Chen from China. Here comes Goncharova of Russia. Stryzak of Ukraine is beaten. Goncharova's beaten. Chen's going to get it. Chen of China wins the gold. Goncharova tying up gets the silver, and Stryzak of the Ukraine.
World record.
Look at that. 27.39.
Gee, I thought Goncharova was going to come back with 50 metres to go, but what a finish there. She just knew she couldn't. Goncharova just couldn't find that last bit. The Chinese athlete, Chen, just dominated.
She's so tiny compared to the others. She's hugging them all literally around the waist because they're all so tall compared to her.
Well, when I competed against Ina, she only came up to my shoulders. So if I was competing against Chen, gee, she must only be 5 foot. I'm just under 6 foot. So 20-year-old from China with a PB of 28.03 going into the games, smashing her PB to run 27.39.
Look at her centre of gravity. I mean, her legs must have to go twice as fast as everybody else. She's got that, long-legged Russian tracking her down. Can't get anywhere near her.
Yes. It's all about the frequency and how quickly you can get your foot on and off the ground and get the energy from the track and keep going. And, gee, I didn't think she would take that out, but incredible race. The Russian and the Ukrainian coming in silver and bronze. But they're both tired. Goncharova and Ina from Ukraine. I think the Chinese athlete Chen could have probably gone another 100 metres in that pace. She looked superb.
First 4 all set personal bests, and Chen threw in a world record just for good measure. 27.39 into a slight wind of 0.7. That's a great run.
It's a fantastic time. We're just seeing this time and time and again at these games, and most of these athletes now have the opportunity to train full time. And so I think for these games and probably the next, we're just going to see records continue to be broken, because we're in a place that we've never been before, where athletes with a disability can train professionally to compete at Paralympic Games.
So how many countries of the world would have professional Paralympians?
Probably could still count on one hand.
Really? Yeah. And is that why countries like the Ukraine are punching above their weight, because they can have professional programs, they put money into it?
Exactly. They have actually Paralympic sporting centres of excellence, which are not in many countries at all, including my own country. We're about to launch into some centre of excellences in Australia, but Ukraine have been doing this for the last 2 games, so they're already 8 years ahead. Back to the seated javelin. And we'll just get the results through for you. Competitor from...
That's Liu Ming of China, who's
throwing,
she's in second place at the moment, just behind Larissa Volik, who we saw recently, and in third place it's the other Russian, Olga Sergienko. Another great crowd tonight. And again, not often you see Brits in the summer without a coat on outdoors, so that's good to see.
The weather is... We couldn't have asked for better weather.
It's almost a bit spooky, as though they're taking pictures of us, but presumably it must be Hannah Cockcroft going around on the track.
That's right. Or maybe of that beautiful flame, which will be burning for another couple of nights, and then that'll be it. Which will be 200 metres T12. I think Britain will be mourning for a couple of weeks.
I don't think we'll know what to do.
No. And hopefully the viewers that are watching our program here on Paralympic Sport TV, or if you're watching on TV in South Africa, thanks for interacting with us, and hopefully you're enjoying our commentary.
MBE, Member of Parliament for Barking. Ladies and gentlemen, the bronze medalist representing the People's Republic of China, Zhu Da-Qing, and her guide runner, Zhang Hui.
So we're going to hear the French anthem this time. Now that's one of my faves. It's a good tune, the French anthem.
Yes, El Hanini. She's heard this anthem quite a few times now. It could be her 7th, maybe even 8th Paralympic gold medal.
Paige Donkin on Twitter says, can't wait to see Oscar Pistorius tonight. Let's go, you biscuit. Now, someone said that the other night about biscuit. Is Oscar nicknamed a biscuit, or is it I don't know what that means.
I don't know that either. We might fill us in if you explain to us what biscuit is.
Yeah.
Representing the People's Republic of China, Zhu Guohua, and her guide runner, Li Jie.
And, you know, China are getting fantastic results. They had the Beijing Games, but even prior to Beijing, I did hear around that they talent tested 20,000 Chinese people, young people with disability, put them into sports schools, got them ready for Beijing, but they're carrying their program through. You can still see the results from Beijing are benefiting, and hopefully those sports schools will stay there and be sustained forever, and we'll continue to see Chinese.
They're certainly leading in the medal table, strong in the Paralympics as they are in the Olympics. And it'll be a great reception for the French athlete when she comes up to get her medal, one of the most successful Paralympians on the track that we've seen.
And ladies and gentlemen, the gold medalist and Paralympic champion, representing France, Assia El Hanouni, and her guide runner, Gautier Simonet.
Assia El Hanouni. I think this is the 8th time in her career to receive a gold medal. Do you think you would get used to it after 8 times, Jeremy?
Yes, they'd all start blending into one, wouldn't they?
Yep, she had a look and went, yep, I can add that to my collection.
Yeah, I've got one
Feels
of those.
the same.
I think they're a bit heavier than at the Beijing Games, the medals.
They are.
They're big, aren't they?
I think they're the heaviest I've ever felt, going back from Atlanta. I don't think I've felt a Barcelona medal, but...
Well, I think that us Brits, we do make a heavy medal, and a lot of people are going to have to pay excess baggage on their flights home.
Well done, Asiya El Hanouni, with a world record time to win this gold medal.
Of France.
Da, 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 da. Fantastic. She sang all the way through that. What a brilliant rendition of the French anthem, and there's plenty of French fans in the crowd tonight. Great moment.
When you've been on that dais 8 times, I think you should sing that national anthem as proudly as Asiya El Hanouni did. I wonder whether this will be a last, whether she'll retire after this or whether she'll go to Rio.
We shall see. A biscuit. People were saying, come on, Oscar, you biscuit. And I said, what does biscuit means? Fernando Adams says, biscuit means you nice, delicious thing, aka eye candy. Chris Stiles says, Oscar, you biscuit means Oscar, you rock, or Oscar, you're the best. Hannah Stevenson says, it's a term of endearment. And Stacey K says, calling someone a biscuit means they're cute, and Oscar is. It's a nice moment. I think she's got a little bit of a crush on Oscar.
Oh, I think he's a bit of a biscuit too, actually. The person is called, there's a last one coming in, someone special.
Yeah, that's from Doug Reed. And Nishan Sean says, I want to be someone's biscuit.
Aww. Thanks for being interactive with us. We really do thoroughly enjoy it in here, receiving messages from you. And if there's something you want either of us to comment on or give you information on, or we can find it if we don't know the answer, so just let us know as we're watching the women's seated shot put.
That's Marwa Ibrahimi, who's in second place. Oh, my wife's tweeted me with the correct pronunciation. It's Langenhoven.
Langenhoven.
Yeah, for what the announcer was saying, Langenhoven.
Langenhoven. Thanks, wife.
Thanks, wife. Very kind of her. That's good that we've cleared that up, because otherwise the first thing, no matter how good the commentary was tonight, or if Oscar had won or Arnu had won, first thing I'd have heard, can't believe you said Langenhoven. But I didn't. It's another medal ceremony, and there's a Brit with the bronze.
Ceremony for the men's 800 metres T36.
And this is Shvetkov, the race we only saw about 20 minutes ago.
So they're turning them around very quickly tonight, aren't they?
Hazala, governing board member of the International Paralympic Committee, who is accompanied by the Right Honourable Margaret Hodge MBE, Member of Parliament for Barking.
So people, for just to know that these guys would have finished their race and they would have had time to put their tracksuit on, and they've probably been standing in the tunnel underneath for about half an hour waiting for this ceremony to happen, stretching, warming down. And there's Paul Blake.
So it's not time to go for a shower.
Not at all.
You've still got
they
your
could be a bit
on.
smelly.
Could be the sweatiest medal ceremony.
But that's okay. We're here doing sport, and that's what it's all about. He looks pretty good.
Kathleen on Twitter says, I'm going to have withdrawal symptoms when the Paralympics end, but my neighbours will be happy. No more late night shouting at the TV. And Gico says, hey guys, you're both biscuits. You're the best commentators. Thank you very much.
Ladies and
Thank you,
gentlemen,
guys.
The silver medalist, representing the Russian Federation, Artem Arefyev.
Artem Arefyev from Russia. He tried his hardest to run down Svetkov, but his fellow teammate was too good once again on the track.
Danny Allgate watching in Dubai says, loving the commentary, gutted it's all going to be over soon. But I bet there's loads of people all over the world that have got loads of stuff backed up on their TV to watch, haven't they? All the programmes they'd usually be watching. Because once you start watching the Paralympics, you just can't stop.
And ladies and gentlemen, the gold medalist, Paralympic champion, representing the Russian Federation, Evgeny Shvetkov.
Shvetkov, big smile. And here comes his gold medal.
So once again, the stadium will all stand. Those that are able to stand will stand up for the Russian anthem. And then we'll be back with more great action on the track.
Ladies and gentlemen, as is customary, will those who are able please stand for the national anthem of the Russian Federation. Ladies and gentlemen, your Paralympic medalists.
So Russian 1 and 2, Paul Blake, the Brit, getting the bronze. Enjoyed the Russian anthem, like the Russian tracksuits. But I know we've got a huge audience that are watching us in South Africa because they're all waiting for that final with Arnu Furi and Oscar Pistorius.
About an hour and 10 minutes away if we're all on schedule.
And as you know, I'm a huge Oscar Pistorius fan and cheered for him like mad at the Olympics. But Johnny Peacock of Great Britain is up against him tonight, and he's only 19 years of age, and he is the favourite to win. And then you've got the Americans, Blake Leaper and Jerome Singleton. And then, of course, Alan Oliveira.
Gold medalist in the 200 metres.
Who came past Oscar in the last stages of the 200. I think it would be too short an event for him to get going because he has he takes a longer to get going.
The men's 100-metre T46 class. So, as you can see in the background, they're arm amputees.
One of my favourites in this, the Brazilian Johansson Nascimento, who asked his wife to marry him.
That's right.
She wasn't his wife then, there'd have been no point asking her. She was his girlfriend then, and she still is, because he can't have got married. He's been busy at the Paralympics. But you know what I mean.
Yes.
Anyway, she said yes.
And Francis Kopayon, he's from Papua New Guinea, and I do know that face very well because he comes across the shores and does a fair bit of training in Australia. The Nigerian, Galadamar, 11:24 qualifying time, and there he is. Your favourite, Nascimento, T45 class, because he has bilateral amputations. or was born like that. And there's Zhu Xiao.
That'll be his big rival, Paralympic record holder. It's going to be between those two, I would think, and maybe this man as well. Gonzalez Isidoria of Cuba.
Qualified in 10.97, which is his PB and season's best. Hola, wow.
I didn't quite catch which country that athlete's
No.
from. Did you hear?
No.
I couldn't hear. The crowd was so loud I couldn't hear where he was from.
No explanation needed.
Don't need to say the Brits, just
The
loud.
second Nigerian, Frank John Will. This is going to be a fast 100-metre final. I'm hoping that will be sub 11. Tomoki Tagawa from Japan, 11.29.
So it's too close to call this one, isn't it? Who do you think might get this one?
Nascimento maybe, but
I'm going Nascimento, but it may
China.
but Zhao as well,
Zhao.
and Isidoria of Cuba. I'm rooting for Nascimento because he's
Just have a look at the different bits of equipment they use, just to vary their start position so they can get a really stable support. They've all designed different pieces of equipment to get the best possible start.
and they're away, and Nascimento's away to a great start. So too is Isidoria.
He's done his hamstring.
His
Nascimento's
hamstring's
out.
gone. Zhao of China picked it up. Isidoria on the outside. It's Zhao and China and Isidoria.
Wow.
And Zhao of China, I think, got it. But Nascimento, his hamstring went just as I was saying he was in the lead. His hamstring went. Zhao of China got it, I think. I think he got it just ahead of Isidoria.
I think we're into a photo finish that was a lunge to the line by Isidorio, and it's come through as Zhao, 11.05, with a regional record. I think we're going to be 0.01. It's going to be a very close finish. Just waiting for second place time to be announced, but
It's definitely Isidoria of Cuba. And they're cheering because Nascimento is going to finish the race. Go on, fella. It's important you finish. And he'll get a huge cheer as he goes over the line. Oh, it's quite emotional, this, isn't it?
it certainly is.
Go on, mate. Keep going.
His heart's going to be broken at the same time as having a very painful hamstring.
Keep going. Johansson Nascimento of Brazil. Keep going. You get back to Brazil. You've got that wedding to pay for.
He's already taken home a gold medal, but he was going for double, and he probably could have if that. We see hamstring injuries a lot in 100 metres, and
It's heartbreaking.
it is heartbreaking. You can hear he's made it across, and what a devastating moment for him,
But
for any athlete.
lovely that he finished the race. And the people that are going across to him now, these are the games makers. They're the people that volunteer. They wear purple and red. It's a pretty horrible uniform, but they've done such fantastic work. And earlier today, the Mayor, Boris Johnson, was just thanking them, Mayor of London, saying what great work they've done. And they lead people from the tube station. They tell you the directions. They tell you what times things are on. They check your ticket on the way in. Let's just watch Nascimento here. Yes. He was going extremely well, and at that point, he just went. His hamstring just pinged. And Zhao of China in a real battle here with the Cuban. Isidoria looked like he might get it at one point. He dipped earlier, and he could easily have sneaked that on the line. It was very, very tight, yes. But just 0.03 of a second. Zhao of China from Isidoria of Cuba. And in all the excitement, I didn't spot that the Brit got third. Ola Abidogun, the British competitor, yes, got third place with all the excitement of the Brazilian pulling up and that fantastic race for 1 and 2. Out of shot, the Brit came in for the bronze.
That was a great race to watch. And you look at Zhao, he's out of all of the people with amputees in that race, he's such an incredible runner. He doesn't use any prosthetic limbs. His arms are quite short, and what an incredible athlete to not have as much drive from the upper body. His legs are doing all of that, so really impressive watching him.
And we'll just watch a little bit of the the javelin. This is the Russian.
T57 and 58, women's javelin throw.
And that's Olga Sergienko in 4th place at the moment. And that's just short of 20 metres. Cynthia M on Twitter says, my heart goes out to Nascimento. Sometimes your body just says no. Stacey K says, our house is going mad for the Brazilian. Go on, my son. What an inspiration. This is why the Paralympics is good for the soul. Judith says, so sad. We're all in tears watching Nascimento. Anthony Henning says, what bravery. Nascimento deserves a medal.
Now we have Qing Su-ping from China. Take her attempt to seated javelin.
Just over 20 metres by the look of it.
Be good to have a shot just a little bit further out so we could actually see what her whole body's doing, because from that you just don't see the work that comes from starting from the feet through to the hips and coming right through to get the energy to really get the javelin out. So a distance of 20.42 metres, giving her 845 points.
So she's in 3rd place behind Liu Ming of China, and the leader is Larissa Volik of Russia. With that race, when your hamstring goes, there's nothing you can do. I mean, and how much pain would he have been even just walking, just to get over that line?
A lot of pain, depending on the degree of his tear. But he come out of the blocks and looked like once he started to get into that dry phase, it went straight away. So, you know, these guys have had a pretty heavy schedule, running, you know, personal best, world record times, consecutive days, combined with the pressure, the build-up. So I've actually heard a couple of stories today of a few athletes coming down with glandular fever. Someone's been rushed to hospital today with suspected burst spleen. So you just don't know. And the hardest thing about being an athlete at these games is actually staying healthy. You know, it might sound funny. This is the easy bit, doing the actual competition. But you want to be, as the Brazilian is in this race, and as the Greek athlete, in your best absolute condition.
Just being introduced to the crowd, the 100 metres race. This is the T13 final. This is the least visually impaired category on the track. And
Mara Durand.
She's the Paralympic record holder.
From Cuba.
Ilse Hayes of South Africa, qualified in 12:63.
And to all of our South African viewers, great to see one of your own in this 100-metre final.
And we've got another one coming up as well, because Joanna Pretorius is in the outside lane. And certainly on Twitter, everyone impressed by the bravery of Nascimento, keeping going. Thanks for all those tweets.
Martine Keita from France.
Rennie Loftus on Twitter is just saying, Jeremy, you speak so kindly about our lovely country, South Africa. Please will you referee our rugby test against the Aussies? And there is Joanna Pretorius. I'm not a qualified rugby referee. Well, my wife does get me up at all hours of the night to watch the Bulls when they're in action in the Super Series.
So lane 4, 5, 6 have got the fastest times, as we've talked about before. The world record holder in lane 4, Amar Durand from Cuba, 20-year-old with a world record of 11:99.
So 11:99 the time to watch, and we've seen so many world records go on this fast track. Here they go. And Durand is away well. Ilse Hayes on the inside. Durand's absolutely flying, being pursued by Ilse Hayes. It's Durand. It's going to get it. Durand's going to get the gold medal. It'll be a silver for South Africa. And coming through for bronze, it looked like the French girl Natien Keita, I think. But Durand flew there no big cheer, so I don't think it was a world record.
Paralympic record.
Paralympic record. Oh, it's just a .01 outside the world
so
record.
Close.
12 seconds.
Yeah. It's always a hard one to get 12.00 or 13.00. 11.99 just sounds so much better. Would have equalled her world record. But she's got the gold medal. What a beautiful runner. Dominated from the blocks. Look how quickly she comes out, puts herself in first position right from the beginning, and is continuing to accelerate from this position where everyone else is maintaining.
Durand of Cuba, 20 years of age. She's got a few years ahead of her yet in this sport. And that's a new Paralympic record. Ilse Hayes of South Africa gets the silver. Keita of France gets the bronze with a new regional record. Dimoglu of Greece gets a PB. And then also a personal best in 6th place, Viviane Suarez of Brazil. But it's Cuba with the gold, South Africa with the silver, France with the bronze.
Mara Duran, first Paralympic female athlete to run under 12 seconds, so it's a very fast time.
Yeah, last year she ran 11.99 to set that world record. Tonight she just did 12 seconds flat, and there goes the French girl, I think on the fastest lap of honour I've ever seen. She's flying around in the outside bend with a cape.
That's right.
Like Wonder Woman.
Like Wonder Woman. It's like she's trying to catch up to the other two if they're out in front. Maybe she couldn't find her flag, but look at her go. After 100, though, you should have a fair bit of energy in the tank. So she's obviously stopped to see somebody, and she might be coming back around. She's going to do
those sprinters, they get tired on 100. They can't do the whole lap. It's 400 metres. They've never run that far. She gets a quarter way around. She's finished. She's worn out. She's coming back.
Oh dear.
So we're back to the shot put.
And here's Birgit Kober from Germany. Her attempt 1 for the women's shot put, F34, which is cerebral palsy. Again, just watch that the front foot has to stay on the ground, and that her bottom doesn't lift until that point where she comes into forward release.
She's in the lead at the moment. She could well extend the lead here. Gets the white flag. Her best so far has been 10. Her PB is 10.20. This is her
it's
first
going to be close.
I think it's a new PB.
She's wondering. 10.25.
New world record.
1,112 points. Her first attempt, world record. Not a bad start.
And she's gone ahead of your woman, Louise Ellery, the Australian, in 2nd place now, and Marwa Ibrahimi of Tunisia in 3rd place.
She's really gone ahead there with that throw. At the moment, it's about 200 points ahead of her competition on the Risa points system. It's actually going to be finished after these games. The point system will not exist, and they'll go back to having pure classification of people competing in the same class and not combining the classes.
A message on Twitter asking who you think is the greatest Paralympian ever. I realise that's such a hard question.
It is such a hard question. Where do you start? I've met some amazing athletes this trip. Chris Holmes, who has actually been the Director of Paralympic Integration for LOCOG. He won 9 gold medals in swimming. Woke up one morning at age 14, went to bed, could see, woke up the next morning and lost his sight completely. He's an incredible athlete. To another athlete that I've met, Chris Waddell, who's been to 4 summer and 2 winter Paralympic Games and won a whole swag of medals. People probably remember Louise Savage from Australia, T54 wheelchair racer, who's one of Australia's top athletes. But we also had one of our athletes from Australia, Matt Cowdery, in swimming, win his 11th gold medal, which is the best ever Australian Paralympian. Then you've got someone like Oscar Pistorius, who is running Olympics, Paralympics, doing tremendous things for our Paralympic sport. So we could just keep I don't know if I could pick just one.
You can't pick one. That's what you've given. That's the spirit of the Paralympics. You've given us a lot there, and they all sound like top people.
And do you know what I love about this Games is one of the youngest athletes to win gold, 13-year-old, and one of the oldest is a 70-year-old shooter a grandma who's gone to her 12th Paralympic Games. So
there is the Paralympic flame still burning. We'll have another victory ceremony coming up very shortly. In fact, here it is.
Ladies and gentlemen, the victory ceremony for the women's 200 metres T34.
this is going to be a fantastic ceremony. Hannah Cockcroft, we saw win this 200 metres not long ago, and
The medals will be presented by Mr. Ali Harzala, governing board member of
front
the
of the home
International
crowd, second
Paralympic
gold.
Committee.
I don't think
Was
we're going to hear a
accompanied
name
by
be
Mr.
called, are
Simon
we,
Mason,
Jeremy?
London 2012 Athletes Committee.
I don't know.
Ladies and gentlemen, the bronze medalist, representing the Netherlands, Desiree Franken.
Two Dutch getting bronze and silver.
I think we will hear the British girl's name, and then we'll need to take our headphones off because it'll get very loud.
I must say, I've never felt anything like it. If you can be in that stadium, you can hear it on the TV, but when you're in that stadium and you hear that roar, it's absolutely unbelievable.
It's very, very loud. Desiree Franken of the Netherlands getting
Ladies
the
and
bronze.
gentlemen, the silver medalist, also representing the Netherlands, Amy Simons.
Amy gets the silver. And she forgot to go up. She forgot to go. She looked around and then just sort of went, oh.
That's me.
Yeah.
I really did win silver. That's my name. Wow.
I wonder why she didn't go. She must have heard it. Looks a bit embarrassed.
She looks a bit emotional, as you would be.
Yeah. I think it's almost like she was, like we're watching an athletics, she was watching it and then she suddenly realised, oh, I'm in it.
Yeah.
I've got to go.
She's probably sitting there thinking,
And
wow,
ladies
this
and
is
gentlemen,
incredible.
the gold medalist and Paralympic champion, representing Great Britain, Hannah Cockcroft.
Go on, Hannah.
I'm going to have to take my headphones off for this.
Go on, girl. Hannah Cockcroft. Gold medal for Great Britain. And I'm going to be standing up in a minute. You're welcome to join in if you want.
I will.
I did stand up for the Aussie anthem for you the other night. It's up to you.
Okay.
It's
No,
entirely
I'll
optional.
stand with you.
But
Her second gold medal. She's
Oh.
even got the earrings. Have a look at the earrings. Union Jack, bling in her ears, in her hair,
Fantastic.
on her nails.
very
That's the
polite
secret
as well.
to gold, hey?
She's a very polite Brit as well. Thank you. She says, thank you. Listen to that noise.
Ladies and gentlemen, as is customary, will those who are able please stand. for the
And we are
national
going to
anthem
stand.
of Great Britain.
I'm on my feet. Fantastic. Hannah Cockcroft.
Ladies and gentlemen, your Paralympic medalists.
Oh, and this is a good song. Bit of David Bowie. Heroes. He's a good London boy as well, David Bowie, born Dave Jones. But because the guy out of The Monkey was called Davy Jones, he changed his name to David Bowie. You often hear people around the world call him David Bowie. That's wrong. Bowie. Like the knife. David Bowie.
I do like this song. But you can't look too much into the lyrics, actually. If you read the lyrics, they're a little bit Can be a little bit depressive.
Nothing can keep us together.
Back to instead of throwing the Algerian, getting her javelin, getting set.
And in a way, Katrina, nothing can keep us together because you have to go back to Australia almost exactly on the opposite side of the world to me. But hopefully we'll meet again in Rio some sunny day.
With our bling, we'll have to have headsets that have got glitter and sequins and...
Is that what we have to do in Rio? We have to have all of the...
I think so. Well, we saw some of the Brazilian athlete last night winning her 100 metres.
Yes, oh, that's right, with the blindfold athlete with all the sequins on, yeah. Guillermina,
yes.
That's
and I have this theory that to compete in the Paralympic Games in Rio, you will need to decorate all of your prosthetic limbs, your wheelchairs, everything, including commentators, microphones and headsets. It will be a party.
Get some bling on it. Okay, well, we'll do that. Probably better wait to be invited first before we start picking the outfits. Might not get selected.
Now, Safia from Algeria, 29 years of age in the F58 class. Her third attempt at 28.87, giving her 953 points. Personal best for her.
So she's now leading ahead of Larissa Volik and Li Meng of China.
Ladies and gentlemen, the victory ceremony for the women's 200 metres T38. Medals will be presented by Mr. Adam Pengilly, London 2012 Athletes Committee, who is accompanied by Mr. Barry Horn, Chief Executive of the English Federation of Disability Sport.
So once again, T meaning track, 3 meaning cerebral palsy,
representing
and 8,
Ukraine, Ina Strizak.
Cerebral palsy. Ina Strizak. This is Ina's 4th Paralympic Games.
And you used to race against Ina, did you?
I did.
Did you used to beat her?
She beat me and I beat her, so we had a fantastic rivalry. She's still going. That's probably about her 9th Paralympic medal. Fantastic competitor. In fact, her coach migrated to Australia and then coached me, and then I beat her, so that was a bit of a coup for Australia.
And do all the athletes all know each other? I mean, if you wandered through the village, how many people would you know now?
The Russian Federation,
not too many. I haven't competed for a couple of games, but you do know people that have been around for a while. But there is a whole bunch of first-timers this Games, which is as you want it to be.
Russian, who was so good the other night, but she's had to settle for silver tonight.
Yeah, she just got a bit tired with about 30 metres to go. These girls have had a big program, and combined with the nervous energy.
And Paralympic champion representing the People's Republic of China, Chen Junfei.
And here's Chen Junfei. Fantastic race.
Very popular winner.
So she's a left hemiplegic. You can see her left side of her body is affected by cerebral palsy, which is quite useful when you're running a 200 metres because her strong side can really work the bend. So if you have a choice, you don't get a choice. With cerebral palsy, you'd prefer it to affect your left side if you're running bends, 2s and 4s.
As is customary, will those who are able please stand for the national anthem of the People's Republic of China.
The most popular song at the Games.
Ladies and gentlemen, your Paralympic medalists.
And it's when they come up onto the platform with her, you see how much taller Ina Stryzak and Margarita Goncharova are from Chen Junfei of China, and that's why I think she got such an enormous cheer from the crowd, because she looks just like a kid in a grown-ups race. Such a low centre of gravity, but her leg speed was phenomenal, and she came past, and you could see Goncharova of Russia thinking, with my stride I ought to be able to catch her, but the Chinese leg speed was just phenomenal.
Coming up, we have the men's 200 metre T35 final. We also have the women's 200 metre T44 final. We have the men's shot put F46 final, women's 200 metre T53 final, men's 800 metre T54, which we've talked about. Be a fantastic race with the Werewolf. Oh. The men's 100 metre T44 final, which is the one that all of the South African viewers are, I'm sure, waiting for. Not long to go, maybe about 45-50 minutes.
Eddie Izzard there in the centre of the picture with the beard and the glasses. He's a British comedian, and he has run a series of marathons back to back. Across 1 month, he ran about 20 marathons to raise money for a big charity in Britain called Comic Relief. And there's a section of it called Sport Relief, which raises money for charities all over the world. And he's a great bloke, Eddie Izzard. One of my favourite ever guests on my radio show. He was an improvisational comedian. He's an actor now as well. And huge in the world of marathons.
He wasn't running those for fun, was he?
He was running them for fun. Yeah, no, he's not a competitive athlete at all. He's just a comedian who runs just for charity.
How can they be fun, though?
What, a marathon?
Yeah.
Well, I wouldn't enjoy them, but there we are.
There you go.
But look how beautiful that park is from the air. I do enjoy those aerial shots. So it is the men's 200 metres, the T35 final. We'll get the runners and riders. Snoopy CT on Twitter says, I promise myself every night I'll go to bed early, but then I end up watching the entire Paralympics, tired at work, but worth it.
So we're all tired here, but not too many nights to go when it's worth every minute of non-sleep.
And Marcus G. Fisher says, Heroes, a perfect theme song for the Paralympics. So here's the runners and riders for the men's 200 metres. Neil Steen of Germany on the inside lane, Bubnov of Russia, Zaruk of the Ukraine, Bukalfa of Algeria, one of the ones to watch. Oh no, my wife told me how to pronounce this one, and I can't quite remember. Tiboho Mokalagadi. It's a sound that we don't do, and she said it to me about 3 or 4 times. Mokalagadi. And I can't hear it, so I'm going to have to do the G sound. I'm really sorry.
And there's Stein from Germany, Bufnov from Russia, qualifying time 28:40, which is his personal best.
I recognise that fella.
He's a gold medalist.
World record
and
holder.
Also the world record holder. Gold medalist over the 100 metres and world record holder of this event, 26:58. There's Hafa from Algeria, personal best of 26:68.
You say this one.
Mokalagadi.
That's the one I'm struggling with. It's Mokalagadi.
Mokalagadi.
It's not a sound that we do, but my wife was trying to teach it to me. I haven't quite cracked it.
He's 28 years of age, PB of 27:37.
And there's Fu Jinhan of China. And outside him, Ivan Otlyakin of Russia. So just looking at the PBs here, the personal bests, Burrito of Argentina, Bukalfa and Tsarak of the Ukraine, all got times of under 27 seconds.
I think it's going to be a very close finish between the Ukrainian in lane 4 and the Algerian in lane 5.
And don't rule out the Argentinian in lane 7, Burrito, as well. I like a burrito.
And the Chinese in lane 8, Fu. It's going to be a close finish.
Underway, and Tsarak off to a great start. Bukalfa also off strongly as well. It's Bukalfa and Tsarak and Burrito in the outside lane, and Foon going well as well. Burrito is in lane 7, but it's the Ukrainian who's into the lead. Tsarak is in the lead at the moment, and it looks like he's going to get it. Fu finishing very strongly. Nearest us in the red, it's going to be Tsarak of the Ukraine. Fu And then I think it was Hernan Barrito of Argentina who got the bronze. So
smashed it. A world record. Another world record. He has had an incredible meet.
Wait for the cheer from the crowd.
25.86. With his world record before being 26.58.
And now it's on the scoreboard, and there's the cheer for Yuri Tsarak of the Ukraine.
Every race he's run has been a world record.
They're having a fantastic games as a country, but as an individual, he has just done phenomenally well.
And Barrito there from Argentina, I can hear celebrating the background, 21-year-old running a regional record of 26.59.
And he's got that determined...
Just
such a determined look on his face. Even when he's crossed the line, he's looking around like, I'll take you all on. Who wants to go again?
Yes, I'm number one. Fu coming home strongly, but just probably left it a bit too late to run the Ukrainian down. And the Argentinian Barrito in lane 3, coming in the close third.
So the world record was 26.58. It's now 25.86.
See, that necklace bothers me. I always get distracted when runners have necklaces. I don't know what the viewers think, but couldn't run with the chain bouncing around my neck. But I suppose if you don't take it off, and that's what you do in training and you practice for many hours, you wouldn't notice. Saruk, world record 25.86. Pretty still conditions. A small headwind of 0.2 metres per second. Men's 200-metre T35 final.
And apparently I didn't do too badly on that, on my pronunciation there. According to Marcus G. Fisher, says great pronunciation, even being South African. It's a twister.
It's a twister.
It's a twister, that one. So, yeah.
Have another go?
Moklagadi.
Moklagadi.
I shouldn't drink while I'm on air, should I? That's the trouble with it. Sensational. Let's just have a look at a few other Twitter comments. James McIndoe says, been a fantastic night for South Africa so far. Hopefully Oscar Pistorius and Arnu Furi can make it even better.
There's one. I think your wife, Jeremy's wife, is a great South African ambassador for teaching him multiple ways of speaking.
Yes.
South African.
Yes. Well, we'll see.
What's your wife's background?
What?
Is South African?
Yeah, she's Afrikaner. Yeah.
Afrikaner.
Yeah. Came over to London to work, fell in love with me and stayed.
You've got one. Wife, Jeremy, needs a few more Afrikaner lessons, but you're doing a great job. Thanks, Judith. We're trying.
But I think I told you off air, but let me just tell the viewers the story of when I was in Johannesburg a couple of years ago, and I was speaking at this big event at the Empress Palace Hotel, and I was giving a talk on how to use humour in presentations to a group of Southern African speakers. And my wife said to me, you can't wear that suit because the trousers are wearing very thin. And I said, it's my lucky suit. I always wear it when I'm speaking at international events. And I was plugging my laptop in at the side of the stage, having to bend down to plug my laptop in that had all the funny slides on that I was going to give the talk about. And the guy was saying, please welcome all the way from the United Kingdom for a talk on how to use humour, Jeremy Nicholas. And as he introduced me, I bent down and my trousers ripped at the back, about a 6 or 7 inch split. And I then went onto the stage and had to give the first 5 minutes of the talk going sort of sideways, side to side like a space invader, not wanting to turn my back on the audience. And eventually I just said, look, I have split my trousers. And they still thought it was a joke and it was part of the act because the talk was about how to use humour in presentations. And this British guy had come on with split trousers. And at the end, people were saying, we still thought it was a joke and we are waiting for that punchline, but there wasn't one. And I then had to go back to my hotel room and for the rest of the event, just wear a pair of jeans.
He goes Bridie Moore from Australia in the seated shot, but I hope you've enjoyed Jeremy's story, and great South African accent even in that.
Yes.
Yes.
Although my name's Jeremy, people tend to call me Jem, but all my wife's friends call me Jim. And I say, why do you call me Jim? And they say, because your wife said your name was Jim. And I said, yes, and my wife says yes. There we are. There's the Australian, Bridie Moore, in 6th place at the moment.
Yes, in her 5th attempt, 6 metres 5. Another event, another 200 metres on the track.
Just one after another, all these finals.
And it looks like the T44 women's 200 metre final.
Let's have a look at the runners in this one then. Now, April Holmes, we're expecting in lane 6, but we've got a DNS, which means did not start. And April Holmes is the world record holder.
We saw her get bronze in the 100 metres. She might have pulled up a bit tight after running that 100 and pulled out of this race.
We can see their confirmation, DNS. That means she won't start, which is a shame because right outside her is Marie-Amélie Lefeur, who's her great rival. There was an incident at a previous games where they... one of them knocked the other one over. I can't remember which way round it was. It was a sort of Zola Budd, Mary Decker type incident.
We also had Stephanie Reid in lane 3, who won the silver medal for the women's long jump. And that's Saki Takakura from Japan.
Here comes the cheer. Turn your televisions down. It's going to be loud.
Steph Reid. And I think she got the gold medal in the 100 metres as well for this class. Malou van Rijn picked up the bronze in the 100 metres. Fantastic smile she has. From Germany, Katrine Green. 27.89 her qualifying time. And there is Marie-Amélie Lefleur, the Paralympic record holder, time of 27.49. And just moving off the screen there, the great British athlete Sophie Camlish.
And the cameraman is always one ahead of the announcer.
Yeah, that's right. He's come back on her.
So we're seeing a person who's not waving and the person on the inside lane's waving.
Right. What a big moment. She's 16 years of age.
Now, you talked about not wanting to wear a necklace around your neck when you're running.
What about that flower? Is that what you're going to say?
She's got half of the Royal Botanical Gardens at Kew on the side of her head. Or... for the South African audience, she's got half of, is it Kirstenbosch, I think, is the big botanical gardens on the side of her head. That's going to be a bit of drag on that flowers.
It must do.
Yeah.
Got to make sure it doesn't fall out.
Yeah, it's like an orchid or something. Sophie Camlish with the flowers. She really is Lefleur, and Lefeur inside her is the French girl, Marie-Amélie Lefeur. Sorry, I'm making myself laugh now. So, who do we fancy in this one? I think...
Lefleur. Particularly because April Holmes is not in. I've probably got bets on lane 7, Lefleur.
It's not Lefleur. You keep saying Lefleur. It's Lefeur.
Lefleur. Sorry. Lefleur. Lefeur.
Lefeur. Sound like Peter Sellers in The Pink Panther. Lefeur. Here we go then. Women's 200 metres, T44 final, and Lefeur away to an absolute fly. You've called this one absolutely right. Katrin Green of Germany also going well. 2 lanes inside her. Lefeur from Green. It's Lefeur for the French athlete from Katrin Green from Germany. And the Dutch girl, Marlou van Rijn, coming through. Marlou van Rijn, this is a real surprise, coming through. And Marlou van Rijn is going to get it. And Marie-Amélie Lefeur tying up completely, and Katrin Green comes in for bronze.
A time of 26.19, a new world record. A T43 class.
Look at the delight there. Fantastic. And when it's a world record, you see that on the scoreboard, a big sign kept saying world record, and everyone just goes nuts. And she gets...
Fantastic time for her. Her PB prior to this was 26.97. So she has absolutely smashed her own PB and world record.
And a world record also for the girl in silver medal position, Marie-Amélie Lefeur. And the reason you can have 2 world records in a race is because the Dutch girl is a T43 category and the French girl is T44. One is to have double amputee, the other's just single amputee.
Yes.
So they've both the gold and the silver medalists setting world records, and in fact the next 3 athletes all personal bests. So an incredibly fast final.
And Marlou van Rijn, who's in the front position here, just takes a little bit longer when you're a double amputee to get your speed going. We've seen that with Oscar and obviously a lot of the people watching, and Oliverio. When you're a bilateral or double amputee, it just takes that bit longer to get your power going.
So she came through from bronze to silver and then to gold.
And followed by the Fur crossing the line.
You've
and
got it.
Katrine Green. Strong race by Katrine Green. A PB for her of 27.53. In fact, when we look at the top 6 positions, world record, PB, 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 PB. So I'm sure all of the girls placing in the top 6 will have to be absolutely delighted with that. To all run personal bests and 2 world records breaking with a lovely tail win of 1 metre per second.
Somebody on Twitter, Renier Mulman, said, did the 16-year-old British girl have a PB because she raised her fist as she crossed the line? And yes, she did. 16-year-old Sophie Camlish, 29.08, because personal bests for all of the first 6 competitors, and the front 2 both got world records, one for the T43 class, one for the T44. Just get some beauty shots of the crowd. You're watching the Paralympic Games live from London 2012 with me, Jeremy Nicholas, and Katrina Webb's my guest. Former Paralympic athlete for Australia, 4 gold medals. And if you're watching on the web, paralympic.org. And our coverage on international television usually takes us up to about 10 o'clock, and then we cross for a news bulletin and then usually some other sports. So if you are watching the athletics and it disappears from whichever channel you're watching, you can always switch to the web, paralympic.org. Last night, people watching on the TV were complaining that they missed the Namibian gold medal ceremony for Joanna Benson. But we did keep warning you that we would be going off and that you needed to get it on the web, and there's not really much we can do about that because there's more sports at the Paralympic Games than just athletics, and the worldwide audience wants to see the wheelchair rugby and the wheelchair basketball and the powerlifting, enormously popular. And the women's javelin throw, one of the field events. Big roar.
And that looks like a good throw.
So the last time we saw the javelin, it was Jalal of Algeria in the lead, Volek of Russia in second place, and Liu Ming of China in third.
Very well over 20, looking around 25, somewhere around 25 metres for Thi Hai.
27 years of age from Vietnam.
And she looks happy with that, 25.37.
So that confirms her in fourth place in the competition, and that is a new personal best for her.
Great way to finish the competition with her largest throw. Last points, 851 points, which sees her in fourth position.
Ladies and gentlemen, the victory ceremony for the men's 100 metres T46. The medals will be presented by Her Royal Highness Princess Eugenie of York.
Eugenie?
Who is accompanied by Mr. Barry Horn, Chief Executive of the English Federation of Disability Sport.
Good to see Princess Eugenie. She's the sister of Princess
Ladies
Beatrice, and their mother is
representing
Fergie, that's
Great
right.
Sarah
Britain,
Ferguson.
Ola Abidogun.
Ola Abidogun getting a sensational roar from the crowd.
And we don't see much of Princess Eugenie, one of the royals that's not quite in the spotlight as much as Harry and Wills and Zara.
I just remember their headpieces that they wore at Will and Kate's wedding. It's probably the last time I saw them.
Yes, one was like a big pretzel, wasn't it? Yeah.
But they auctioned off, I think, for a good cause.
They got a lot of stick from the
Ladies and
fashion
gentlemen,
press,
the
but
silver
they came
medalist,
good by auctioning them for
representing
charity.
Cuba, Raciel Gonzalez Isaderia.
Gonzalez Isaderia. That was a very close finish in this race, if you can remember back to this one. He tried everything to lunge to the line, but just not enough for the Chinese competitor, Zhao. 21-year-old. And sure we'll see more of
ladies and
him
gentlemen,
at
the
games
gold
to come.
medalist and Paralympic champion representing the People's Republic of China, Zhao Xu.
Zhao Chu.
Stacey K on Twitter says, good to see Princess Eugenie, but sad to see no crazy hats.
That's right, Stacey. She should have popped one on. I agree. Any chance to auction it off for charity, she would have been in front of a good audience tonight.
Olwyn Myberg says, would love to hear the stories of how these amazing athletes became Paralympians. Somebody should do a book. I've already got 2 books I'm working on at the moment. I can't take on a third.
As is customary, will those who are able please stand for the national anthem of the People's Republic of China. Ladies and gentlemen, your Paralympic medalists.
Just saw Lord Coe there in the background. Do you know Lord Coe?
I've met him a couple of times, yes. I must say he has done a tremendous job with these games, both Olympic and Paralympic, and
he's a top bloke.
He is a top bloke. He will receive the Paralympic Order Medal the morning after the closing ceremony, and these are only given out to people who do a tremendous contribution to the Paralympic Games who aren't athletes.
I learned via Twitter, obviously we're watching the athletics, but the Aussies are leading the Americans in the wheelchair basketball. 18-8, and you can watch that live as well at paralympic.org. Just click a different stream to see the wheelchair basketball. It's great, the wheelchair basketball, isn't it? And the Aussies are, beating the Americans, they'll be delighted with that. So back to the shot put. And again, this could well be recorded action that we're seeing here. But this is the Greek woman, Stamatoula. I'm sorry, it's the Finnish competitor, Mariana Huvinen of Finland. We just saw Maria Stamatoula of Greece. This is Huvinen of Finland, 45 years of age.
Just had a comment here from...
Oh, the judge has fallen over. Look, the judge fell over on the shot put. Sorry.
She did her foot go down one of the shot put holes, did she?
She got her foot caught in a divot.
Poor thing, let's hope she's okay.
Yeah. Sorry, what? You've just got what?
I'm just going to respond to a comment about why is there no class for bilateral above-knee amputees, is putting them with 42s fair. That was probably coming out before the start of that race, and you could see that the 43s are now running over the top of the 42. So it's an interesting one for discussion. And look, if we had enough competitors of single and bilateral, you wouldn't need to combine them. But just to keep the strength going until we develop the sport enough to have enough competitors in both, we would love to see pure classes if we could. But sometimes there is a need to combine them.
There's the beautiful view of the Olympic Stadium, home to the Olympic Games last month and the Paralympic Games this month.
Just see the warm-up track at the back there. You don't often get to see that.
No.
And it's always nice to see what the athletes are doing prior to this race. So some athletes, they could have a warm-up that's 2 hours long. Everyone's individual. But they would head to that warm-up track, go through all of their preparations. Then you would go to the first call room, which would take you underneath to get to the main stadium, to the second call room, and then your third spot is obviously out on the track. So there's a big process that happens behind the scenes that viewers never get to see.
Like that cameraman who's so brave, who actually lives inside the Olympic flame, pointing up. He's the bravest camera. I see him every morning coming in with an asbestos suit on. I think, oh, he must be hot. Very brave man.
Someone has asked me who is co-commentating with me, and
the medals will be presented
have you
by
forgotten?
Mr. Adam
no, I'm just going to lead into giving us a little bit of your background when we get a chance.
Oh, okay.
Who is accompanied by Mr. Kevin O'Neill,
West Ham stadium announcer, I know, for the last 15 years.
I've been the stadium announcer at West Ham United, one of the biggest teams in London, for the last 15 years.
Jeremy Nichols is his name, and he's given me his book tonight called Mr. Moon Has Left the Stadium.
Yes. It's a book I wrote. It's not just a book that I found in the library. I did write it. And this Olympic Stadium, it hasn't quite been decided yet, but it looks like West Ham United will be playing their games from 2014 in this stadium, unless something goes wrong. So I could well be the stadium announcer in this stadium for football in a couple of years' time.
And you'll just have to think of us every time you're announcing in that stadium.
I will think of you.
And there's Kita from France, bronze medal for the women's 100-metre T13. T13 being vision impaired and the least vision impaired. And for all our South African viewers.
Jessica Joy on Twitter says, love listening to you guys talking about South Africa, staying up late to watch Oscar run. So worth it. Love from South Africa. And Irene Evans, waiting for Oscar.
About 20 minutes away if everything's on schedule. A big historical moment not far away.
Lauren Jarman says, couldn't they have Oscar and Arnu's race on a bit earlier? South Africa's on a go-slow in the mornings from very late night viewing.
Paralympic champion representing Cuba.
Hayes getting that silver medal for South Africa. And now the Cuban. Incredible race. She ran 12 flat, if I remember rightly. World record holder of 11.99. First ever Paralympian to get under 12 seconds. And if you don't know how fast that is, go and run 100 metres tomorrow and clock yourself and just give you a bit of an idea of the speeds some of these athletes are running. Amara Durand from Cuba.
Will those who are able please stand for the national anthem of Cuba?
Got a message here from Nicole de Cooker, who's watching with her brother Daniel, who has Down syndrome, and they're so inspired he wants to take part in the next games. So it's lovely to hear this, that our viewers are getting inspired, and opportunity for Down syndrome to compete in both. Probably more at the Special Olympics, but we have got the T20 class in the Paralympics back again.
So Down syndrome competitors can be in the Special Olympics and they can be in the Paralympics?
If they're classifiable under the intellectually disabled class. So
I see.
There's a system. Special Olympics is more participatory, and doesn't have a classification system to the like of Paralympics. But with the reintroduction of the T20 class into the Paralympic Games, with athletics, swimming and table tennis this round, there is opportunity now for people with an intellectual disability, athletes, to compete again in the Paralympics.
So we're getting closer to the big races of the night. The men's 800 metres which the home crowd will be roaring on David Weir, the Werewolf. Werewolf of London, going in round about 10 minutes' time. And then for those people in Southern Africa waiting to see Oscar Pistorius and Arnaud Ferry, that's coming up at around about 9:24 London time. It's just about 9:05 here now, so that's in just under 20 minutes' time. Got a few people in South Africa moaning that they can't keep awake. Make yourself a coffee.
That's right. Women's 200 metre T53 final. Starters are getting ready. We have athletes to be called soon. A range of athletes from America, two Australians, 2 Americans, 2 Chinese.
That's a very natty outfit. Jessica Cooper-Lewis.
Is that Bermuda?
Bermuda.
It is. We just had to check. She might be about the only one.
Well, I don't know who designed that outfit, but it wasn't Stella McCartney. It's a bit more... Maybe
Zhu Hongchuan from China.
Paul Smith, he's the one that always has the different stripy colours like that.
And our first of the Americans, Jessica Gali.
Jessica Gali will be the one to watch, I think.
You're right. Personal best of 28.93. And also the world record. Let's watch Jessica Gali. Angie Ballard, better known. This is Angie's.
Do you call her
third,
Angie?
I do. Third Paralympic Games. Angie.
Is she your mate?
And she is one of my mates, yes.
Excellent.
A great competitor from Australia.
I like it that you know them. I think that's good.
And Maddie de Rosier. She's also one of our Australian wheelchair racers. Don't get to see the wheelchair races as much because they do spend a lot of time in Switzerland. There's a fantastic fast track in Switzerland that a lot of athletes spend their time training and competing at.
So a couple of Aussies to look out for and a couple of Americans. And we're calling the Aussies Angie and Maddie.
Angie and Maddie.
And there's Anita Forjur of Ghana outside Huang of China. The Ghanaian athlete coordinating beautifully with the wheelchair. A white combo. And then very colourful trousers. 200 metres, T53 final for women, live from London 2012. And they're away. Now we're expecting to see Gali of the United States going well here. In lane 4, we've got, and she has...
It's just picking up there. The view's a bit hard to tell, but it's lane 7.
It's
no, lane 8, sorry.
It's Huang of China. Huang of China, who is in the lead there, and the other Chinese competitor, Zhu, on the inside. Huang of China's
Ballard coming in for silver.
Angie Ballard of Australia getting silver, and we're a bit caught out there because Jessica Gali we were expecting to go, and she just didn't figure at all. And it was the Bermudan alongside the Chinese competitor who were doing very well, but Angie Ballard fairly consistent all through the race there, and Huang of China winning that in a time of 29.18. That's a PB, regional record for Angie Ballard, and a PB also for Zhu of China. So Lisha Huang getting the gold medal. She's 23 years of age.
And I have a little bit of information on Angie Ballard here, and I'm not. This is my country, so I suppose I have a little bit more information. But people will probably be interested to know she is coached by Louis Savage, who is a famous name in the sport of wheelchair racing. Had a car accident in 1982. She's age 30 now, and these girls all got the classification of paraplegic, so T53. This is Angie's 4th games.
And good to see her get the silver there. But, gold and bronze for China, 29.18. And once again, the first 3 competitors all got personal bests, and Angie Ballard got a regional record.
But the red and yellow dominating again. We'll have another national anthem tonight from China.
And the atmosphere in the stadium beginning to crank up because we're about 5 minutes away from seeing David Weir, one of the most celebrated wheelchair athletes in British history. multi-winner of the London Marathon, and he's going to be going shortly, and you can just sense the atmosphere picking up in the stadium. He's a London lad, popular crowd favourite. They call him the Werewolf of London, David Weir.
And other names in that race we'll see to come for the men's 800. Josh Cassidy to look out for, Marcel Hug, Julian Casserly. It's going to be a fast, tactical and very exciting race to watch.
Marcel Hug, I'm always amazed by how shiny his helmet is. You can see it's very difficult when the cameraman goes along to film in the lanes, because the cameraman's reflected in this very silvery, spacey, shiny helmet that Marcel Hug of Switzerland always wears. And we can't actually see what the noise is for, we can just see the noise. It must be the lap of honour, or it must be because they can see David Weir emerging from the warm-up track. And I think Brits often have a reputation for being shy and reserved. Not tonight. And they can't all be from overseas, so there must be a few Brits that have shaken off their English reserve or Scottish, Welsh, Irish reserve to applaud tonight.
But as you can see, not many spare seats available. There's one, which I just find incredible. Just thanking all of the people who have supported these games. Maybe they've been cheering on Dan here. He's an attempt 1 for the men's discus.
Dan Greaves, one of our most successful shot putters. He's from the East Midlands. I've interviewed him a few times actually.
And that seemed to feel good. Crowd are happy. We'll just get the results up on the screen at the same time. As you can see, athletes know as soon as it's released, without even seeing the distance, they can feel how good the throw is going to be. He's happy with that. A distance of 53.75 metres, which I think will be a personal best, but we'll just confirm that.
Yeah, well done to Dan Greaves. Here it is. Yeah, I've got the right page up now. I had the shot put up before, and it was the discus. That's why I was thinking, blimey, he's thrown a lot further than everybody else. That's because they were shot put records. Yes, so Dan Greaves in the lead in the competition, 29-year-old, and he's ahead of Adrian Matusik of Slovakia.
And here's one of the big races we've been waiting for. It's Marcel Hug, you can see there is the world record holder from 2010, 1 minute 31.12. I don't expect to see world records broken, particularly with these races, is in the fact that it's such a tactical event. Mind you, they've only got 2 laps. It'll be fast from the beginning to make sure they get in good position. But David Weir there, the werewolf.
Now, don't you think,
from London.
when the Jamaicans, you have the beast, don't you, and then you have the lightning bolt, and they do the pose. Don't you think when they say David Weir, he should just go, "Arr!"
Let's have a look and see if
the werewolf of London.
He won gold in this event in Beijing. He won gold at the World Championships in 2011 over this event. He's really rising up to the moment with this crowd. I'm sure the werewolf of London will win the gold medal in this event. Josh Cassidy in lane 3 from Canada with a personal best of 1:35.72. And there's Marcel Hug from Switzerland, the world record holder.
He's the man to beat, isn't he? Hug of Switzerland.
Jordan Bird in lane 5 from the USA. 23-year-old. Casserly is one to watch too from France. He's been very competitive in the 1500 and in the 5000.
The season best. There's only a couple of seconds between all of them. There's David Weir of Great Britain. Go on, fella. He didn't do it, so I thought I'd better do it. The werewolf.
I didn't even
London.
hear his name get announced, did you?
No, I announced it myself. I couldn't hear. I thought he needs to be announced.
And in lane 8, Zhang Lingxing from China.
And there's Kim of Korea in the outside lane. So Cassilly's one to watch, Hoog's one to watch, and Weir will be the one with the home crowd. And they'll lift the roof off the Olympic Stadium if David Weir can get another gold. Here we go, the men's 800 metres, T54 final. 2 laps of the track, and they'll start in lanes. And it's hard to tell who's out in the lead at the moment. I would say Zhang of China, who's just outside David Weir, is going extremely well. It is Zhang of China who breaks ahead. David Weir just behind him. And it'll now become a tactical battle. Zhang of China in the lead.
So 27 seconds there for that. We've had a crash.
Someone at the back has crashed. It's hard to see who it is. It's someone in white. That could well be. Is it Josh Cassidy of Canada? I can't see who it is who's out, but David Weir is tracking Zhang of China. Marcel Hoog of Switzerland with the silver helmet is in 3rd place. They take the bell. 400 metres to go.
52-second, 15 lap, fast lap there, and this will be even faster. You can see them pick up the pace now.
David Weir is just exactly where he wants to be. He's right behind Zhang of China. David Weir, the Londoner, so popular at this Games. The Werewolf of London just behind Zhang of China. And Hoog of Switzerland, the world record holder, is in 3rd place at the moment.
He's going to have to work coming off this bend. He's going to have to lift his pace.
And David Weir's perfectly poised. Go on, David Weir. It's Zhang of China in the lead.
Have to work.
Here comes Weir.
Close.
And Hoog's coming up as well. Weir in the lead. Marcel Hoog of Switzerland's coming up. David Weir's going to win it. David Weir of Great Britain wins it. Marcel Hoog is 2nd. Zhang of China comes in 3rd place. The Werewolf of London. Oh!
45.48. That is absolutely flying. That 2nd lap. He is a performer. He knows what to do at exactly the right time to get that gold medal in front of 80,000 screaming fans. Well done, David Weir.
And he's had a wardrobe malfunction in that his shirt has come bursting open. Do it up, man. Do it up. He can't. He's got his zips.
That's okay. I'm sure everybody's quite happy to see his bulging muscles.
He's taking his gloves off, thinking, I've got to get this zip done up. I'm on the telly. I've just won a gold medal, and I'm showing everyone my tattoos.
I wonder if he'll get a werewolf tattoo after this. 3 gold medals at his home Games.
Fantastic. What
and
a great
the marathon
bloke.
still to come.
What a great bloke David Weir is. 33 years of age. He's dominated the London Marathon for as long as I can remember. And now he's won another gold medal at this game. He's struggling with that zip. Someone should get on there and help him. There we go. Well done, fella. He's got it done up. He's respectable again.
Gee, he's had a marvellous Games. From Beijing Games, where he won gold for the 800 and the 1500, silver in the 400, bronze in the 5K. These Games, it's all gold, with the marathon still to go on the last day of competition. Where's he going to get a flag from? There must be one there for him to grab, do you think?
Someone will give him a flag, I'm sure they will.
Listen to that crowd.
We can hardly hear ourselves talking. We're a bit excited in London. We like a home winner. Look at that crowd. They love that. David Weir. And they've got the 100 metres final coming up in just a moment with Oscar Pistorius and Arnaud Fourier and the Americans and the Brit who's going to be challenging them.
He just got himself in the perfect position, as you said, as he was coming around into that 200 metres. One in, one back. So he could come out in around the Chinese competitor, timed it perfectly.
So we're the winner from Marcel Hoog, Zhang of China, and the person who crashed that didn't finish was Julien Cassilly of France.
We didn't see what happened there, but you can hear the crowd for David Weir, but if you're not here, he has been appearing on billboards, newspapers and bus sides advertising the Paralympic Games around Great Britain. So he is one of the most recognisable faces and, of course, one of the hardest to beat. Lives only 25 kilometres from the stadium. So to win 3 gold just around the corner from home.
Can't
and
be
there
bad,
he goes. He clipped Hoog's wheel, actually, Cassidy.
And he also balked a couple of the other competitors as well. And there is the winner. David Bowie's heroes again, pumped out during the stadium.
Sense of relief on his face. He just caught that last expression of, wow, the weight off his shoulders.
Nick Rennie on Twitter says, what a noise in the Paralympic stadium, what a hero. David Weir, 3 gold medals and every one a thrilling finish.
That's what we want to see, isn't it? This is sport. We want to see thrilling, spine-chilling finishes, and that certainly was one.
Andre Dorfling, absolutely amazing performance by David Weir of Team GB. Such pace, well done, lad. You can see the marvellous effects they managed to get in the crowd using those little digiboards. There's little digiboards behind everyone's seat that has 9 little LED lights on it, and they can do these fantastic effects that we saw at the opening and closing ceremony. So back to the discus. But we've got that 100 metres T44 final coming very shortly.
We should see them walking out the track soon. But the men's discus, he's happy with that throw. A competitor from Iran, and we'll see if we can bring up.
That's Farzad Sepavand, who's been lying in second place in the competition. Dan Greaves of Great Britain leading at the moment. If you're watching in South Africa, you haven't got much longer to stay up before that 100 metres final. Oscar Pistorius, Arno Furi in action. But Johnny Peacock of Great Britain, one of the favourites to do well, along with Blake Leaper. Got that Brazilian as well, Alan Oliveira, who beat Oscar in the 200. And Jerome Singleton as well from the States. It's going to be an absolute cracker. Don't go anywhere now. You've stayed up this long, don't go to bed. Keep awake.
Just one more track event. Fazard throwing 56.73, a regional record for him and a personal best to put him into second position in the men's discus F44 final. And here's Jeremy Campbell from the USA. His second attempt, first attempt being a foul. And he'll be looking to, his PB is 63.46. 25-year-old American. What does he think about that? Before, not over 63, so probably looking somewhere over 55 metres. Not probably where he wants it to be, but at least getting one in after having a foul for your first throw is a good thing.
Graham Taylor on Twitter says, can you please tell us what sport you guys were involved in? Well, by guys, I guess he means me, Jeremy Nicholas.
What sport are you involved in?
And Katrina Webb,
Yes.
my co-commentator. Well, I played Sunday League football in Regent's Park up until the age of 40. I played in the Camden Musicians League Supreme Division for a team called Heart of North London FC. I was a right back, and I scored twice in 5 years. And Katrina Webb is a 4-time gold medalist at the Paralympics, running in the T38 cerebral palsy category in the 200 metres, and she won 4 gold medals. So very, very similar sporting achievements between the two of us. I was also a Long Melford junior tennis champion as a boy, and Sudbury mixed doubles tennis champion.
Don't go away. Look, we can see the start list. The final for the men's 100 metre T44. We don't even need to explain what that classification is. I'm sure everybody knows. This is the race we have been waiting for.
And it's a shame it's come now, because I had quite a lot more sporting achievements of mine that I needed to run through.
They're more important in this race, aren't they, Jeremy?
Well, the saddest moment for me was in my university tennis career when I realised I only got picked for away games because I could drive the minibus. And every time it was a home game, I got dropped. But there we are. So there's Liu of China in lane 2. Now, do you know, there's about 6 people in this race that could win this. It really is going to be an absolute cracker. That's the Brazilian who, with the longer blades that Oscar wasn't too impressed with in the 200 metres, but we must stress, absolutely legal. There's Oscar Pistorius.
There's the biscuit for everyone in South Africa, Oscar Pistorius.
Come on, Oscar, you can do this, fella.
Thumbs up.
Much as I'd love to see the Brit win, I'd love to see Oscar beat the Brazilian and just say, in your face, fella.
And there's Richard Brown from the USA, qualifying time of 11:33. And here is the man of the moment.
Go Johnny.
Johnny Peacock. Wow. 11:08 is qualifying time. He's just taken that energy in, but he's gone straight back to focusing on the job he's got to do.
There's the other South African, Anu Fourie, T44 category, qualified in 11:29.
We will see Blake Leaper from the United States, 23-year-old with a personal best of 10.91, qualified with 11.34, so let's hope that he gets close to his PB and we see this race sub 11 seconds. And Jerome Singleton in lane 9 from the USA with a personal best of 11.16, 26-year-old, and one that will make this race a very competitive one. Soon we'll hear silence in the stadium. There's Oscar.
I can't call this, you know. I honestly can't call this one. It's a bit of a short distance, this one, for Oscar.
Peacock with his home crowd.
You can hear them chants of Peacock, Peacock.
Peacock. And they're going to call just to stand up. They might quieten the crowd, I think, just for respect
so
for
Oliveira,
the athletes.
Yeah, it's because of the home crowd getting a bit too noisy. Oliveira of Brazil with the longer blades there, so he won't be able to get off quite as quickly. Oscar will get away quickly, but I think Peacock of Great Britain, just 19 years of age, he's going to be the one to watch. But you just can't ever rule out Oscar Pistorius. I mean, he was beaten the other day for the first time in about 9 years. The guy ran at the Olympics.
He will be burning to get that gold medal.
And the crowd just being explained nicely to them that, can you please be quiet?
Johnny Peacock, 19-year-old, in front of his home crowd. It's going to be close.
Everybody else in their 20s, but 19-year-old Johnny Peacock in lane 6. But all eyes on Oscar Pistorius in lane 4. This is the big one. It's the blue ribboned event, the men's 100 metres T44 final.
Again, Oliveira unsteady in the start position. Are they going to reset them, or are we going to see a red card or a green card?
Well, Oliveira toppled over. His blades are so long, he toppled over. There we can see he's not steady there.
Gee.
Why hasn't he got blocks? Everyone else has got blocks. He's not got blocks, and then he's wobbling.
Difficult to come out.
Sure.
Blocks. It's up to the athletes whether they choose to use them. It's not enforced.
But surely you would be an advantage. You could push away from
exactly.
the block.
It is. It's more advantage, but depending on your own individual disability, you spend a lot of time practicing, training, and you work out what's best for your own disability to get out the quickest.
Marksman, can you issue a green card for the athletes, please?
Green card for the athletes. They're going to reset them.
Tell you what, I was tense at the start, and now I'm even tense.
So was I, and I'm sure all the viewers are. 2 South Africans in this race, 3 Americans, Brazilian,
and a Brit.
Peacock from Great Britain.
You just know that if he wins, it'll be proud as a peacock will be the headline.
On your mark.
Okay, let's get the replay out the way. Let's see what's happening.
All going through their routines.
Till I'm tense, I'm getting a bit...
So am I.
I'm getting a bit annoyed with the director now. So don't show us the replay. The race is going to be starting. All right, here we go. Let's run through them again. Liu in 2, Oliveira of Brazil in 3, Pistorius in 4, Brown of the States in 5, Johnny Peacock, home favourite, in 6, Anu Fourie of South Africa in 7, and the 2 Americans, Leaper and Singleton, in 8 and 9. There's Johnny Peacock. He has the fastest time. And this time they are away, and Peacock goes away strongly. It's Johnny Peacock in the lead, and he's got competition on the inside from Brown of the USA, and Anu Fourie coming in for the bronze. It's going to be Peacock getting the gold, silver for Brown of the United States, and Anu Fourie of South Africa gets the bronze medal. It's a home win for Johnny Peacock. A great result for him. 10.90.
10.90, fabulous result for Johnny Peacock. I think Oscar was in 4th position. We'll just wait to see the results. Beautiful start from Johnny Peacock. We'll see the replay in a second. He was fastest out of the blocks. Wonderful congratulatory hug there from Oscar.
Now, the thing with Johnny Peacock, in every interview I've ever seen Johnny Peacock say, he says his hero is Oscar Pistorius. He's just beaten his hero, and he's just got a hug from him. And now he's going over to hug Dan Greaves, the shot putter, the discus thrower. Dan Greaves says, get out there, do your lap of honour. Now, that's great when you see two members of Paralympic GB going to hug each other. Let's have a look at this race then. It was Johnny Peacock right from the start getting away. Brown from the States in second place, and Liu of China on the inside, but then Oscar Pistorius and Anu Fari, and it's Fari who gets the bronze, and Oscar Pistorius out the medals in fourth place.
So just going over the times there, Johnny Peacock 10.90 with a Paralympic record. Richard Brown from the USA 11.03 with a personal best. Anu Fari 11.08 with a regional record. Oscar Pistorius with 11.17 with a season's best, followed by Blake Leaper 11.21, Jerome Singleton 11.25, and Oliverio in 11.33 season's best.
Well, it's going to be a tricky one for me when I get in tonight, because the Brit has beaten the two South Africans and my wife won't be happy about that. Well, I hope you enjoyed that race. I tell you what, that was a fantastic race, because there were four very good runners there. Look at Johnny Peacock's face. Just 19 years. He's still a teenager in front of a home crowd. He's beaten his all-time hero, Oscar Pistorius, who he mentions in every single interview. That cameraman needs to get out of the way. Johnny Peacock.
Well done to Johnny Peacock. I'm really impressed how the great British athletes are performing. They're not underperforming. They're taking that energy from the stadium. They're using it to help with their adrenaline, and taking that energy in for every single step on the track to get across that finish line first. Very impressive.
Well, we had in the Olympics what we called Super Saturday, when Mo Farah and lots of people won gold medals. Tonight at the athletics, it's certainly been a Super Thursday for Great Britain. Back-to-back medals. David Weir in the 800, and now in the 100, Johnny Peacock. There's confirmation of the 800 that we saw. And of course, we've got these medal ceremonies.
I was going to say
come.
that we have the medal ceremonies of those two races later on the program. I'm not sure whether you'll get to catch the last one, which will be the race we just saw in about 45 minutes time. So if you do want to see that, you can go to our live stream at Paralympic Sport TV.
Sue HS on Twitter says, wow, Johnny is brilliant. Congratulations, golden boy. Brittany White, what a race by Johnny Peacock. Oscar Pistorius will own the 400 metres and win gold. That was an intense race. Hazel Grace, whoop, go Johnny, go. And Seb Phillips, yes, Johnny Peacock, another gold for Paralympic GB. Susan Ridgett says, brilliant Johnny, you're awesome. Here's Dan Greaves in the discus.
And Dan Greaves has thrown another fantastic distance, 59.01, a Paralympic record.
Shani Cohen on Twitter says, well done, Anu Fari, making South Africa proud.
It's a good point. Oscar has got his 400 metres still to come, and I'm sure he'll win gold in this event. It's his distance.
Would certainly make it easier in my house if he did. Usually there's a cup of rooibos and some biltong waiting for me when I get in. Tonight there might not be.
President and CEO of Samsung Electronics Europe.
Just to let you know, that throw of Dan Greaves put him into first position.
President of the European
Paralympic record.
Yep, he leads the Iranian, Sepavand and Campbell of the States in third place.
Medalist, representing Argentina, Hernan Barreto.
There's Barreto. We were calling him Burrito, weren't we? Barreto.
I think it was because I was hungry. Do like a burrito. Barreto. Yeah, but with that stadium announcer, what makes you think that he's right and I'm wrong? We heard the pig's ear he made for some of the others. I applied to be the stadium announcer at the Olympics and the Paralympics.
Did you?
Got on the short list. Didn't get it.
Did you have to audition for this?
Yeah, I had to audition for this.
No, sorry, no, to be the stadium announcer.
I did, yeah. I had to do a trial medal ceremony. Yeah, got on the short list, didn't get picked.
Well done for getting on the short list.
Thank you very much.
A great job.
You just had to be short, and I was. And 5'7".
Ladies and gentlemen, the still the medalist.
Well, we're lucky you're not there because we've got you here, and it's great fun working with you, Jeremy.
Well, actually, when you think about it, I'm enjoying this a lot more because we get to commentate and chat. I met this lovely lady from Australia. I met you.
Yeah, look, if you were being this stadium now, where's this? Come on.
Yeah, no, the stadium announce, you just have to be factual, doesn't it? Whereas here we can
Well,
enjoy
actually,
ourselves.
I think you wouldn't have been able to help yourself. You would have had to throw in a few jokes or two, and you might have been the star of the show.
I did a West Ham game against Manchester United and we played, and it was snowing at the stadium. And I just did the medal. Yuri Tsarov. And we were playing Manchester United, and it was snowing at the West Ham ground, Upton Park bowling ground. And midway through the game, the referee decided we had to have an orange ball instead of the white ball to see it better against the snow. And you're not meant to, but I announced it as a substitution. Leaving the field, the white ball. Please welcome
The orange
ball. And everyone went, hey! So I do sometimes chuck in the funny ones when I'm doing the stadium announcing at West Ham.
And why not?
You have to have a sense of humour, actually.
That's
The way our team plays, you need to have a sense of humour.
Well, I tell you what, a lot of the athletes, Paralympic athletes, have great sense of humour.
Please stand for the national anthem of Ukraine. Ladies and gentlemen, the Paralympic medalists.
So let's just have a look at Twitter then, because it's gone absolutely mad with people mentioning all of the races. Amazing Peacock says, Eva Maria Hoffman, what a race. 100 metres, T44 gold to Johnny Peacock. What a great race. Francois Fansale says, we still believe Oscar will bag us a gold, always cheering our hearts out for him. Tony Volpentes says, great race, Johnny Peacock. Congrats on silver to Richard Brown. Winged foot of the USA, and well done, Arnaud Furey, for bronze.
Yes, well done to Arnaud Furey.
Oh, and South African Tourism have been on Twitter saying, thanks for all the great mentions about our athletes, Bill Tong and Roy Boss. When are you coming back to sunny South Africa? I'm hoping to go over in October. I don't know, do you have any plans to go?
I've never been there.
You've never been?
Never been there.
You must go, it's beautiful.
On my list of places to go. Would love to get there.
Beautiful country. I go a couple of times a year to see the wife's family, and then for the first week, and then the second week we enjoy ourselves.
Looking at the seated women's javelin. I'm just starting to ignore you now.
You just realised I said something funny yet. First week we see her family, second week we enjoy ourselves. Go down to Cape Town. But yeah, no, you must go.
I will go.
Yeah. You should go
Just
up.
in Australia, we're so far away from everything that...
Well, you're a lot closer than we are.
True, but...
In the same hemisphere. You should get out there and you should spread the Paralympic message. You're a Paralympic ambassador, and you should go over there and give some talks.
I will. In fact, I'm from South Australia, which always uses SA, so quite often we'll see things that South Africa have the same SA. So there we go. I feel at home.
Yeah, there are SA on the.
I know there are SA, but I've just been watching even people's tweets coming through saying
they all say SA.
They all say SA, not
yeah,
RSA.
And then it's ZA as well, isn't it, on the number plates?
Ladies and gentlemen, the victory ceremony for the women's 200 metres T44.
Peacock smashed it. Done us proud.
That's from Dr. Hardik Patel, and Umeki says these Olympic and Paralympic athletes deserve to be celebrities. They work hard and achieve something, not like these ridiculous reality television morons.
International Paralympic Committee.
Good sentiment.
Accompanied by Mr. John Peterson, President of the European Paralympic Committee. Ladies and gentlemen, the bronze medalists.
This is the victory
representing
ceremony
Germany,
for the women's 200 metre T44. Katrine Green from Germany winning the bronze medal.
It's Rita with her blue glasses, coordinating with her scarf.
I did notice that. IPC governing board member.
The IPC do such a great job in organising these games and representing the sport.
Yes, it's been an absolute pleasure working for the IPC these games. Really getting to see it from a global perspective instead of just from one country's view.
And separate from the Olympics, which is organised by the IOC. And there's Lefeur. And I think they should remain separate. I think the Paralympics is special, and a lot of people want it absorbed into the Olympics, but let's keep it separate, let's keep it special, because it's just great when you look in all the newspapers across the world, all these brilliant athletes getting all the attention, and if it was at the same game as the Olympics, they would not get that attention. You know they wouldn't. It would all be about Usain Bolt. I've got a bit angry, haven't I?
We've got in your ear. I think that's what's happened.
A week ago, I knew nothing about this. Now I'm virtually an ambassador myself.
You have done an incredible job for not knowing much about these games. You can just see your professionalism.
It gets to you, though, doesn't it? It gets to you to see these guys and girls just giving everything. And Van Rijn.
The girl with a beautiful smile. She's won bronze so far in these games, and now to be in that top position. She come home fast, didn't she? She ran over the top of in the last 15 metres, and double below knee amputee, getting the speed towards the end of the race.
She looks like a film star. I can't think which one is it. Anne Hathaway or someone? Very pretty.
Right.
Yeah, Anne Hathaway from One Day.
Ladies and gentlemen, as is customary, for those who are able, please stand for the national anthem of the Netherlands. Ladies and gentlemen, your Paralympic medalists.
I'll read out a few messages from Twitter while they're just having their photographs taken. Samir Naik says the Paralympics is such an inspiration, and they've enjoyed our commentary. That's very nice. Judith says lekker slaap, Jeremy and Katrina.
Can you tell me what lekker slaap is?
Lekker slaap means sleep well.
Sleep well.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
lekker slaap. There you go.
I like that. Lekker slaap. Lekker means well. So if something's going very well, you say it's lekker. If it's going really well, it's baie lekker. And if it's really, really good, you might say it's lekker for a cracker.
Lekker for a cracker.
Yeah, lekker for a cracker. Lekker slaap. So
Thank you.
Any South Africans that have enjoyed our coverage tonight, I know it's a little bit later for you than it is for us, and you've probably got work tomorrow, so lekker slaap, my Engels, and we'll see you tomorrow night, same time. Are you here tomorrow, or have I got Chris?
I think you might have Chris. I'm
okay.
thinking of the schedule that we have. The Paralympic reunions on tomorrow, and which will be great to see all the athletes that have come along to the Games, non-participating and participating, everyone get together to talk about how fantastic the Games have been. What a great throw there from the American discus thrower. We'll bring up some distances in 2 seconds. Just on the 60-metre line.
Jeremy Campbell, 25 years of age, and that is 60.05, a new Paralympic record.
His PB is 63.46. So starting to get the distance. His first throw being a foul, second being 56 metres 15, another foul on attempt 3, and finally getting one throw out over 60 metres. So you have to be happy with that, but let's hope he gets closer to his PB in his next 2 attempts.
So we've finished the night with the 2 big finals, and then they've just put on an extra event, which is the men's 400 metres T11, the heats. This is what they did last night, and it's really so that the crowd get a chance to go, those that have connecting trains to catch and get back, and people have got school tomorrow and work tomorrow. But a lot of people will stay for these heats. There'll be 3 of them, and it's the 400 metres T11. This is for visually impaired runners, so they will all have guides. So there's Armando of Angola with Palanca, his guide. Just a reminder, it's always the athlete with the number on. The guide has the orange bib.
So we've got in lane 1 Silva from Brazil, lane 3 Marcunda from France, lane 5 Armando from Angola, and lane 7 Herrera from Venezuela.
And just a reminder, this is just a heat, and it will be the first 2 that will go through.
Fastest personal best is lane 5 Armando, 52.22, with the world record in this event being 49.82.
So Brazil, France, Angola and Venezuela. Just taking a little bit longer to settle, as they have the guide runners as well. Here we go then, 400 metres T11, round 1, heat 1. And it's Silva of Brazil on the inside lane. Macunda of France is going very well. Armando of Angola making up on Herrera of Venezuela in the outside lane. Armando of Angola going the best of all at the moment. But on his inside, Macunda of France is catching up quickly. Armando of Angola has now taken the Venezuelan. Armando of Angola going very well indeed. Macunda of France on the inside. Still the bend to unfurl here. The French competitor catching up really quickly now.
First in each heat to go through, and the next one, first fastest to advance to the final. So it's important that they finish first.
And it looks like it's going to be Macunda of France who's going to be the automatic qualifier. Armando of Angola coming back quickly, though. The Frenchman slowed down too early. Keep going. Oh, and he pushed him over the line, and he'll get disqualified for that. He pushed him over the line. You can't do that. We saw that the other night. Macunda of France was slowing down too early. I think he thought that he was further round than he was. And Armando of Angola, who had led, then came back at him. And I said wrongly that I thought 2 went through. You're absolutely right, Katrina.
Yes,
it's
first
just
in each heat.
the first in each heat that goes through, and then it will be the fastest runner-up. And the French guide, I think ill-advisedly, pushed his man over the line there, and to try and catch up with Armando. And if he was adjudged to have propelled him, then he'll get his runner disqualified.
Let's just take a look at that again.
So at this
Macunda
point,
does a great bend, comes in, really dominates the back straight, the home straight, and in a fantastic position. Maybe he just thought that he'd done enough.
But it's up to the guide to be telling him here, you've got
Exactly.
to keep going.
Yes.
And here comes Armando of Angola. At this point, the guide spots him, and then just watch. Does he give him a bit? No, actually, he doesn't push him, I don't think.
Looked like he might have just lunged to the line just in time.
Yeah.
The guide might have just said to him, lunge. It looked like Makunda actually thought he was there at the finish, didn't it?
Yeah.
And maybe his guide just whispered or yelled. Not whispered. He would have yelled to him, lunge. Whatever lunge is in French, and get over that line. 52.04.
Very, very close though, 52.08. So it's quite a decent time, and they've all run season's bests, and the top two have run personal bests.
So Makunda will have to wait now to see how fast the next two heats are, to see whether he will be the next fastest to advance to the final. Obviously the final can only have 4 athletes, so the first from each heat through, and then the next fastest time.
So we get a chance to go back to the shot put, and Hu of China. Who is this thrower? That's right, this thrower is Hu.
T46.
He's currently lying in second place behind Nikita Prokhorov of Russia, who set a world record earlier with 15.68.
And who has thrown furthest distance in this competition of 15.57. His PB prior to that was 15.08, so he's having a good competition, but in second place, and is that 15.57, there it is.
Who is in second place?
So we're just watching some of the throws from before, as we've had
So
some big track races on.
so that was Hu when he went into first place, and because that's a recording, we know that Nikita Prokhorov of Russia is going to throw a world record and overtake him again.
And here he is. A prediction from Jeremy.
He's in third place. I'm just going to predict, just off the top of my head, that he's going to throw 15.68 and that it'll be a world record. But
So you're really picking up this sport, aren't you?
I know.
You could just tell by his position how far he was going to throw.
And you can tell when this took place because we heard the bell then, and so that must have been in the 800 metres because that's the only event we've had tonight with a bell.
Well done.
So I will bet 15.68. You can have any other distance, Katrina, for £100. What are the odds? Let's see.
And the announcer has exactly... How did you do that?
Blow me down. That's £100 you owe me. Now, Sean on Twitter says Pistorius is not a 100-metre specialist. His event's 200 and 400, so watch him in the 400 metres later, and we certainly will.
Yes. Yes, we saw him run the 400 metres in the Olympic Games. Yes, we know that that is his best event.
That child should have been in bed by now. She's up far too late. She's brought her Tigger with her as well. She's had a little cuddly Tigger from Winnie the Pooh.
But why not? London won't see the Paralympic Games for a long time, so kids are allowed to have a late night, I think.
My mum would disagree. We had to be in bed by 9 o'clock with a glass of milk.
In bed with you.
Yeah, had a glass of milk. Had to actually come in the bed with us, the glass of milk. We weren't allowed to drink it. We just had to hug it like a hot water bottle. Made a right mess of the sheets. There we are.
Oh, we're getting to the end of the show. I can tell by the conversation we're having now.
Adrian Dupria says the Paralympics is lacquer for a cracker. And people tweeting their favourite moments from the games. Patty Loof says the blind runners and swimmers, the high jumpers with one leg, and the gold medalist from Mexico swimming with one arm and no legs.
Yes, can I mention that the high jumper with one leg from Fiji, Lisa Delana, I got to interview him last night at the Paralympic ball we had, which raised some great money for Great Britain or British Paralympic Association, also the Agitos Foundation. But he is the first ever Fijian to win a gold medal, whether it's Paralympics or Olympics, and he was just saying how his phone won't stop ringing and how he's just become a superstar overnight in his country. So that is a fabulous story. Well done for mentioning him. 174 he jumped on his first attempt, and lucky he did on his first attempt because one of his other competitors also jumped 174, so it was a count back, and he took the gold. second heat for the men's 400 metres T11 class.
And the competitor we see there in 2021 is Octavio Angela dos Santos of Angola. Dustin Riley Walsh inside him, Daniel Silva of Brazil, Walsh is from Canada, and Ariane Isnaga of Cuba on the inside lane. And they've all got guide runners with them. So people just tweeting their favourite Paralympic moments so far. At Paralympic is our Twitter handle.
Got a nice message here saying, thanks for the great commentary, you biscuits. We're both biscuits tonight, so I really like this. I might have to take this one back to Australia.
If you could be a biscuit, what biscuit would you be?
Oh.
I would be a hobnob. I think with its oaty, crunchy taste.
I think I'd have to be a white chocolate macadamia biscuit.
Would you?
One of my favourites.
Yeah, with your blonde hair. It's Daniel Silva of Brazil with his guide, Leonardo Souza Lopez.
And we saw Silva win silver a couple of nights ago. Over the 200 metres, I think it was, if I remember correctly. Daniel Silva has a personal best of 49.82, which in fact happens to be the world record over this distance. He set in on the 18th of November 2001 in Mexico.
So the Cuban, Ariane Isnaga, on the inside lay, Daniel Silva of Brazil, the world record holder, Dustin Riley Walsh of Canada in lane 6, and Santos of Angola in lane 8. And we're expecting Silva of Brazil in lane 4 to be a comfortable qualifier. There he is, you can see the tie between the two of them.
They're showing some great detail here. The precision that the guide has to set the athlete up in. The start is the most important part of this race. They need to make sure they can't come out with exactly the same rhythm, because you just can't chase this.
And off they go then, men's 400 metres, T11, round 1, heat 2. It's Silva in the green, who's got away extremely well. Santos of Angola going extremely well in the outside lane as well. And they're neck and neck, not much between them at the moment. Silva of Brazil in danger of just running out of his lane there. The guide just pushing him back. Here comes Silva of Brazil now, overtaking Walsh of Canada. In the outside lane, Santos of Angola still going very well, and Isnaga of Cuba on the inside, still in with a shout when the stagger unfurls. But as expected, it's Daniel Silva of Brazil, 33 years of age. He holds the world record of 49.82, and he's in the lead at the moment. He's going to be the one that qualifies. Isnaga of Cuba will come in second and have to hope for the fastest time, but he's a long way back, and it's a time of 51.41 for Daniel Silva of Brazil, who's safely through to the final.
Very convincing win there. As you said, first in each heat, go through the final, and the next fastest.
There he is with his guide, Souza Lopez. And it's just inspiring the way these blind runners can run. Imagine running as fast as you can, and you cannot see where you're going.
So the first heat was won in 52.04.
So Silva's improved on that. 51.41 he's qualified in. So he will go through, and Dustin Riley Walsh with 53.64 is not as fast as Mukunda of France. So at the moment, Mukunda of France still in the final, unless the person in the third heat gets a fastest time. So Daniel Silva of Brazil qualifies, Armando of Angola qualifies, and a provisional qualification place at the moment for Mukunda. But we'll wait and see who wins the third heat and how fast the person coming second is.
And that will be the next event we see on the track, and the final event for this Thursday night, the 6th of September. We must be getting close to a medal ceremony, are we? Or is that Dan Greaves in the background? Let's see what the crowd's roar is for.
Well, we've got a couple of medal ceremonies coming up with British competitors. And there is Dan Greaves throwing over on the far side. He got a white flag, but he doesn't look too happy with it. hopefully we'll get a recording of this. It feels like we're in the cheap seats here. We're a long way away. We can't see what's going on. And now they have gone to it, and it's Jeremy Campbell, the American, with a very frightening mouth guard.
Jeremy Campbell, 25-year-old American, PB of 63.46. And I'm just not sure what attempt we've caught up with here, but he has thrown just over 60. Or just under, I didn't catch that. He has thrown 60.05 in this competition. And
I think that was it, which will be a Paralympic record.
And let's just have a closer look at where it lands. No, that's just before. So that must be his attempt 6, which was 59.39. Seeing him get a Paralympic record in his 4th attempt, as I was saying, 60.05. Ranking him in 1st position. So this is F44 final. They're all of the same classification, so the longest distance will win this event. And we just saw Jeremy Campbell, the previous thrower, in 1st position. And this is Fazad Sepavand from Iran, 26-year-old. Encouraging it to go over 60, but just short. His best for this competition so far is 56.16 on his attempt 5, and this has certainly gone past that distance. His PB of 55.54, so he's having a great competition, and let's see what distance, just around 58. We will see. He's very happy with that, 58.39.
It's in 3rd place.
Which gives him a regional record. And maybe a bronze medal.
So this is Dan Greaves' last throw. Jeremy Campbell of the United States in the lead. Greaves in at least a silver, but he needs to go better than 60.05. And he doesn't do that. So Dan Greaves settles for a silver. That's the cheer that we heard earlier. And so that's the end of the competition. Campbell of the States gets the gold. Greaves of gets the silver from Great Britain, and Sepavand of Iran, 26 years of age, gets the bronze. So another medal for Great Britain, but he was a metre down on Campbell of the States. He gives him a hug and acknowledges the crowd.
Now I'm just going to let the South African viewers know when does Oscar run his 400 metres. He has his heat tomorrow night, the 7th of September at 9:45 London time, and we'll see him run, hopefully he should be guaranteed a final spot on Saturday the 8th of September, so last day at the athletics track, with a marathon on Sunday morning at 9:57 London time.
Well done for finding that. I was trying to find that, and you came up with it. I've got a laptop, you've got an iPhone, and you found it quicker than me.
I have a fantastic app called London 2012, which actually feeds through results. So great having iPhones this time round, because you've got access to some good,
now you tell me,
quick data.
6 nights into the commentary, and now you tell me about the app on the iPhone.
And the fantastic part about it did the Olympics and the Paralympics, and that's what I've really loved about this Games, is that everything's just followed on really nicely, and Locog have done a sensational job. Heat 3 of the men's 400 T11 class, and we're looking for a time around 51. 52.08 is the fastest qualifier for that 3rd position. So let's see what time this heat goes. They will need to be moving
very quickly. Silva of Brazil's qualified as the winner of the 1st heat. Armando of Angola won the 2nd heat, and Makunda of France is the fastest loser so far in 52.08. Now here's the Brazilian the other night, and he scares me a bit with those glasses. So they look like sort of like an insect, doesn't he? He's got bug eyes.
Lucas Prado. I didn't notice that the other night. Maybe I wasn't commentating, but
I think your stand-in was in, was it? Chris Waddell.
He would have been,
Yeah.
yes.
So let's run through these then. Bulanda of Mozambique in lane 2, Prado of Brazil in 4, Dunkley of Canada in 6, and Chikongo of Namibia in lane 8. The fastest runner will go through, and anyone that goes faster than 52.08 will also go through. Well, only the second one. They might all go faster than that, then only the second one will go through. I'm talking myself out of this. I thought I understood it a minute ago.
Lucas Prado's PB is 50.3, but this season's only been 52, 53 shape. So,
And Buland of Mozambique, we don't have any statistics for his PB. He's only 18, so anything could happen. So Prado, oh no, it's a false start. It's a false start.
didn't see what happened there. We'll just wait and see what the officials say, whether someone was unsettled, whether it was too noisy. Athletes will just slowly walk back to their blocks. Oh.
So
Is that the 18-year-old you were just saying?
18-year-old Peter Rondeo Buland of Mozambique. I do hope he's not going to be disqualified at the age of 18. That would be dreadful. I mean, give the guy a break. He's a blind runner. He hasn't done it deliberately.
We'll just wait to see. The officials will follow the rules.
The guide looks absolutely distraught. Come on, guys, give him a break. Let him stay in.
It looks a green card.
Green, that's good.
Okay, Belanda obviously very excited, anticipating, nervous, but he'll have to count his lucky stars for that one. As you said, it's probably just unsettled enough before
I think it'd be
they
tough.
called it.
18 years of age, but of course they have to
But
be
the rules are rules.
completely fair.
That's right.
So let's just run through the list again. There's Prado of Brazil in lane 4, Buland of Mozambique, the youngster, in lane 2, Dunkley of Canada in lane 6, and Chikongo of 8, Namibia. There's some fools in the stadium making a noise. Be quiet. This is the start of a blind runner's race. They need silence. And away they go, and it's Prado of Brazil who's away the best. Buland does get away this time on the inside lane. Prado of Brazil already making up on Dunkley, and Chikongo of Namibia absolutely flying in lane 8. Chikongo of Namibia in the lead. Prado of Brazil catching on the inside, but Chikongo's absolutely flying. He's got a personal best of 52.98. Prado's gone at least 2 seconds faster than that, but Chikongo of Namibia still looks to be just in the lead. But wait for the bend here as the Brazilian comes round. It can sometimes be deceptive. Here comes Prado of Brazil. It's Prado of Brazil and Chikongo. Chikongo just in the lead at the moment. Now Prado of Brazil on the straight is stretching out, but Chikongo going extremely well indeed. Chikongo ran the best bend, but Prado's done the best on the straight. He keeps going. It's going to be a time of 52.01. And that means I think Chikongo's just going to be a little bit too slow. And Mukunda of France in 52.08 I think will go through. But we'll just wait for the times to come up. Certainly it's the Brazilian Prado who's gone over the line first in 52 exactly. And then Chikongo 52.45, just missing out. So Mukunda of France will get that other place in the final. So the qualifiers will be Silva, Armando, Mukundo and Prado.
Well done to Chikongo. Not enough to make the final, but personal best time for him of 52.45.
Ran a great bend, but just couldn't do it on the flat. Not the
And
flat.
the
It's all
stagger.
flat, isn't it?
That's right.
But the straight, that's what you call
and
it.
that's the deceiving part, isn't it, when the stagger picks up and just to see where they are placed. But Prado ran a great race, did what he had to do. Jonathan Duckerley from Canada, the time of 55.27, and Bolandi, the young 18-year-old, with a time of 57.51, and we've got, as you mentioned before, we don't know what his PB or season's best is. Let's hope. Oh, it is. It looks like it could have come up as a season's best for him.
Yeah. I think that's mainly because that's the first time we've had from him this season, so they've said, yeah, that's your best one.
True.
Alison Green on Twitter, how amazing was David Weir, then Johnny Peacock? I was shouting and crying at the same time. Alison Noblet says, amazing night. Johnny Peacock and David Weir, true heroes, gold, gold, gold. And Sarah Phipps says, the athleticism and performance of all the athletes, first or last, they're all winners.
And there's the final lineup for the men's 400 metres T11. Silva, Prado, Amando and Makunda. There's your cameraman again, all suited up inside the flame.
In his asbestos suit, so
Ladies
that's the end of the action, but stay with us for the medal ceremonies.
800 metres T54.
They're going to be noisy.
Very noisy.
And I'm going to have to stand up twice here because they're going to play my tune, God Save the Queen.
The medals will be presented by Mr. Eddie Izzard, British comedian.
So you were telling us about before.
There's Eddie Izzard, comedian, one of my favourite
He's getting
guests.
quite emotional there.
Yeah.
Fabulous.
British Airways.
Eddie Izzard's a fantastic comedian, and he does a routine entirely in French
Ladies and
as well.
gentlemen, the bronze medalist, representing Thailand, Sachon Konjen.
Well done to Sachon Konjen from Thailand, picking up the bronze medal in the men's T54 800 metres. Always been strong competitors in this class in Thailand.
Now that is a tracksuit with a lot going on. So you've got the Thai flag in there, and then you've got the British flag in as well, the Union Jack, and the Paralympic logo. That's my new favourite tracksuit.
Silver medalist,
I've been liking the
one.
representing Switzerland, Marcel Hug.
There's Marcel. Don't often see him without his shiny space helmet on. Well, he's a good-looking lad.
I was going to say he's a bit of a biscuit.
He is a biscuit.
Not a bit of one, he is a biscuit.
He's a Garibaldi.
World record holder in this event. But it would have had to produce a world record tonight to be in the next position, the gold medalist.
We need to say goodnight to Cynthia from Kenya.
The gold medalist.
Good night, Cynthia.
Good night, Cynthia.
Representing Great
Here
Britain,
comes the werewolf, the
David
werewolf.
Weir.
David Weir, the werewolf of London. I used to be a werewolf, but I'm all right now.
He's been in this sport for a long time, 15 years experience.
And there's no more action at the Olympic Stadium, but no one's going home because they want to see David Weir, and they want to see Johnny Peacock, and they want to sing that Great Britain national anthem.
Very special moments in sport. Gold medalist for the men's 800 metre
Ladies and
T54.
gentlemen, as is customary, will those who are able please stand for the national anthem of Great Britain.
And I'm on my feet. Sang all the way through. David Weir, the werewolf of London.
Ladies and gentlemen, your Paralympic medalists.
And how the other David Bowie.
Had a comment here from Bruce Lang as a South Aussie. The choice of biscuit for me has to be the Tim Tam.
Never heard of a Tim Tam.
Never heard of a Tim Tam.
What's that?
You've got to hear of a Tim Tam. Beautiful biscuit that we have in Australia. Chocolate on the outside, chocolate biscuit, then the next layer, but in the inside another layer of chocolate. Beautiful biscuits.
That sounds nice. As a
Could
child,
do with one about now.
As a child, I liked custard creams, and then bourbons, and Garibaldis, and then hobnobs, I think.
What does that name hobnob sound funny
Hobnobs,
for me.
it's like a digestive biscuit, but with instead of wheat, it's oats. And you can get chocolate hobnobs as well. But if you ever try and dunk a chocolate hobnob in your tea, the chocolate will come off, so be careful there. Stefan Klomp on Twitter says her favourite moment. Stefan, is that a man or a woman? That's a man, isn't it? Sorry, I do apologise. Stefan Klomp on Twitter says everything from referees to volunteers and from athletes are some of the favourite bits here. And Matt Austin says that when I was there, the crowd were going wild for David Devine's 800-metre heat on Monday. Never heard a noise like it. So the result of the women's javelin just going through. I always feel that we don't show you enough of the field events. But it's all sort of happening at the same time. And it has now finished. And we saw Jalal of Algeria get the silver. Volik of Russia got the bronze, but it was Liu Ming of China with a regional record of 23.48 who got the gold. So we're nearly done here on Paralympic Sport TV, but there's just one medal ceremony to go.
Ladies and gentlemen,
and it'll be
the
quite
victory
noisy.
ceremony for the men's
We can
100
already hear
metres
them.
T44.
Peacock.
Proud as a peacock.
Yes.
I can see the headlines tomorrow morning. I don't need to buy a
The
paper.
medals will be
It's got
presented
Sir
by
Philip
Sir
Craven.
Philip Craven, President of the International Paralympic Committee.
What a special moment for
He
him
was
to
accompanied
present a
by
gold
Mr.
medal.
Ed Warner, Chairman of the
to one of his
International
athletes.
Paralympic Committee, Athletics. Ladies and gentlemen, the bronze medalist, representing South Africa, Anu Furi.
Well done to Arnold Furry. Bronze medal in the blue ribbon event.
Well done, Anu. All of South Africa's proud of you, fella. Lots of people watching in Pretoria and Johannesburg and across South Africa. Absolutely delighted to see him winning that bronze medal.
In a time of 11.08, which is a regional record and a personal best for him by 0.01 of a second. Well done to Anu
Ladies
Furry.
and gentlemen, the silver medalist, representing the United States of America, Richard Brown.
Richard Brown from the States, he's bouncy.
Here he's got the United States coloured earrings. Time of 11.03, which is a personal best for the 21-year-old American. And he's elated. Love seeing this when athletes showing their emotion and excitement.
And ladies and gentlemen, the gold medalist and Paralympic champion, representing Great Britain, Johnny Peacock.
Go, Johnny, go. Well done, fella. Just 19 years of age, and he stood up to some experienced competitors, Arno Furry, Oscar Pistorius, Richard Brown, and the Americans, Blake Leaper, Jerome Singleton, and he beat them all and set a new Paralympic record. Well done, fella.
10.90, the only athlete in the race to run sub 11. Peacock.
It's amazing you can hear the crowd above the really impressive sound system in the stadium.
He's the new hometown hero.
Ladies and gentlemen, as is customary, for those who are able, please stand for the national anthem of Great Britain.
I have to stand up again. There's Lord Co and
Ladies and gentlemen,
the Princess
your
Royal,
Paralympic
Princess Anne.
medalists.
What a night, what a pleasure it has been to be in here with you tonight, Jeremy. ParalympicSport.tv to see two fabulous races on the track.
Yeah, the David Weir race and the Johnny Peacock race, both brilliant events.
I don't think it's sunk in for him yet.
Is it me or is the music getting louder?
I think they've increased the volume, and why shouldn't they?
And now there's going to be a mass rush for the tubes and the trains and the buses as everyone goes home and remembers they've got to get up in the morning and go to work or to school. But it's been another brilliant night on Paralympic Sport TV. I hope you've enjoyed our coverage wherever you've watched us in the world. You can go to bed now unless you're in a part of the world where you're just waking up. I've been Jeremy Nicholas. My brilliant co-host has been Katrina Webb from Australia. And I think I've got Chris Waddell tomorrow night, and you're perhaps back with us the next night. Do we hear you again?
I'm not sure, actually. We'll just have to check the schedule. It would be an honour to be back. I really enjoy this commentating with you, Jeremy, and it's a real pleasure to be able to talk about some fabulous history-making events we're seeing at the London 2012 Paralympic Games.
As we just run through the women's shot put there, we'll say goodbye to you. From me and Katrina, goodbye. We've got news next, and then more sport coming up with some wheelchair tennis.